I went to bed last night. I thought about doing my nighttime routine, my skincare routine. With eye black under my eyes, I thought about laying out some cleats at the bottom of my bed so when I woke up this morning, I could slip them motherfuckers on and get up here and get ready to podcast. Football is coursing through my veins.
If your team is 1-0, make some noise. Yeah.
Come on.
He doesn't got a team. He doesn't got a team to root
Hey,
for.
I don't have to deal with none of the stress that I've seen NFL fans go ahead and deal with over the last, 12 hours or so, bro. The amount of just insane takes, how people they're just basically rescinding the rest of the season. They feel like their life is over. They feel like the next 18, 17 weeks of their life is in pain, straight shambles. It's madness.
We're looking at you, Dolphins fans. Your life sucks. But like you guys see, we are here on a Monday for the first time of this season because like we told you guys the past couple weeks, during the regular season and the playoffs, we are going to be doing 2 podcasts a week instead of 1 on the channel. We're splitting up. Instead of doing 1 3-hour show every Thursday, you'll get an hour and a half on Monday, hour and a half on Thursday, which really means about 2 hours every time because we're yappers. But the reason we're doing it Monday, because obviously the games get played on Sunday and we're going to be here every single Monday morning, 9 a.m. sharp our time, Central Standard Time, to give you guys our first reactions to everything that went down. Thursday episodes will be more about us being able to go back, watch y'all 22, talk about in depth what's going on, do a more, common topic you guys see from us. Mondays, straight raw reactions.
Hell yeah.
Straight raw, bro. And you know what's so interesting about that too? On top of that as well, there's no more you knows, but on top of straight raw reactions, I learned so far through this first slate of NFL games that I was actually tapped into, the game is about inches and angles. Inches and angles.
Okay.
Inches and angles. That's all it is at the end of the day.
There we go. Inches and angles. If you're still here, do us a favor, drop a like and subscribe and comment inches and angles. And with that being said, you see by the title, the main thing we do today, we're going to give one overreaction for every single NFL team from each game. So, we're going to lean into it. One thing that we can take away from this that is an overreaction that will probably change over time, but we're going to do the overreaction now. Yeah, man. Let's talk about all these games. Cue the intro music. First things first, I think it's only right we start with the game that we've seen most recently.
The game of the year.
The game of the year. The game of the 2020s regular season-wise so far. Ravens versus Bills. The last thing we saw before we put our beds to sleep last night. What is y'all's reaction to seeing the Ravens do it again?
My overreaction? This team, they are not winning the Super Bowl. They are not Super Bowl contenders.
You know what's funny? Because at halftime, my overreaction was going to be,
they're winning
the Super Bowl. The Ravens are getting a chip. It's not even a really an overreaction because I've been saying that all summer. I've been making it very clear. I think the Ravens are the Super Bowl pick post drafting Starks, post signing Alexander, post drafting Mike Green, post getting DeAndre Hopkins, retooling the roster in these ways that we said they were already the best team in the regular season last year, and now that it's much better. Surely they will be unstoppable and run through the league, right? At halftime, I thought we were cooking. I thought it looked like that was clearly what's going to be the case. This is going to be the year Lamar Jackson cements himself as one of the greatest football players to ever live. Then at that time, I said, damn, Josh Allen's the demon.
It's so funny because, I see how this year is going to go, right? Especially, for us three up here, and specifically for him. The Ravens are going to be his football version of the Oklahoma City Thunder, where, his actual team, right? The Lakers, yeah, they're solid 3 seed. They have Luka, very, very happy, right? You have this young star, but they're probably not going to win the title. Same thing with the Chargers. You have you
say that now.
Stop that. But you have your young star in Herbert, but the Chargers are probably not going to win the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
But then you have this other team that on paper has all the talent, mathematically, statistically, fits every single bill of being this historical all-time team, and everyone's like, they're not going to do it. They're not going to do it. And whether or not they think whether or not he thinks that those reasons are valid or just Twitter talk, whatever, he's going to ride behind them. And even though that he's not a fan of the Ravens, if the Ravens don't win the Super Bowl, you are going to be upset. You're going to be livid and you're going to be personally disappointed.
I don't have quite as much conviction as I did with OKC, just because the Ravens are the Ravens. They've been here for a while.
Because of games like last night.
Yeah, and because what we saw last year. Yeah. If we had this podcast last year, I would have had that type of conviction, and that playoff loss last year would have made me distraught. Now I've seen them collapse when they're already the best team in the NFL. I've seen them snatch defeat from the jaws of victory. So
hearing all these narratives come into
That's
form.
one of the best sentences of all time.
That's what they do. Look at the screen. Mo, tell me what's on the screen right now.
Brother, The Ravens have now lost 8 games since 2021, in which they at one point had a win probability of at least 90%. Someone like me coming into the season who's just like a baby. I am adolescence when it comes to just like seeing and feeling the landscape around me in the NFL universe that I've now been into. And so I have no expectations. I'm other than like the ones that I carry through hearing through you guys and the rest of all you as well with what you spew on Twitter and YouTube and all that. Reading comments. I'm in the trenches for real, man. And seeing this happen, I was levitating. It was a sensational experience. Just now, I thought again, I was levitating, thinking back to all the amazing plays, the scrambles, the insane quick twitch juke moves that I saw Lamar Jackson do. Zay Flowers, he's dumb fast, bro. See, they just eviscerated that Bills defense throughout the first three quarters of the game, and then I saw the most exotic way to lose a game in the first or in the last 1 minute or 4 minutes of the game, bro. Such an insane, absurd, just turn to the corner, and this team looked like complete night and day.
Yeah. So the overreaction to the Ravens is obviously we know this team is the best team on paper. We know that Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson are probably literally the greatest rushing duo of all time when it comes to a quarterback and how Lamar's rushing ability bends the game, and Derrick Henry being one of the most unstoppable forces in modern NFL history. Maybe there's a past era where there was 2 running backs. You want to look at a running back duo that's iconic that you can put up there with. But quarterback, running back, we've never seen a duo like this that bends the game. We see, apparently Zay Flowers leveled up. On the last episode, we were reviewing our fantasy teams. You had Zay Flowers as your wide receiver too. We were like, okay, maybe that's going to be the worry because they don't pass enough, that he's really good, but the passing volume hasn't traditionally been there.
Ain't worried about that.
Career high in receiving yards this week. So you're riding high right now. All these things are coming together.
You know what I'm saying?
The insane rushing duo, Lamar Jackson has developed into being one of the most accurate passers in the NFL. Way better from the pocket than he used to be. Legitimately as good as anybody out there in the league. There's no reason for them not to be the best team in the NFL. And yet somehow, when they looked like that was the case in a singular game, leading 40-25 at the start of the fourth quarter, they blow it.
Not even at the start of the fourth quarter, with 5 minutes to go.
It was 40-25 then?
Yes, it was 40-25 until 4 minutes and 28 seconds left or something like that in the fourth quarter.
And there's multiple things that happen. Obviously, you have the Derrick Henry fumbles that kind of kickstarts everything. And then you, even after Buffalo scores that, you still have another drive to close it out. And this is where I think Baltimore actually went wrong. And a lot of times, especially in the playoffs, I think you can look at the Ravens and be like, oh, Lamar didn't have his best game. And so all the attention is probably going to go to him. This one, you know that the video of there's this Pee Wee kid where he's like, players, you did your best. You played your heart out. This is not on you. Yeah. It's the coach's fault. And it's the coach's fault. Yeah. That's what this feels like this morning, where they got extremely conservative and they started playing in a way that they did not play.
Exactly.
And so the way that you got up, the way that you scored 40 points, the way that you built this entire lead,
it's running down their throats.
Exactly. Yes, you still tried to do that because obviously you're handing the ball off to Derrick Henry, but they did not do that in the same way over those last 2 drives, and then it ends up costing them. And then for a lot of people, would you guys have punted it or would you guys have gone for on 4th and 3? Because I've seen screenshots of some models where it's the recommendation is to go for it. And if you do go for it, you ice the game, you win it, instead of punting the ball back to Josh Allen and giving him an opportunity to tie the game and do all the things that they did. Yeah. What would y'all have done in that situation? Do y'all think it was the right move?
I mean, it's easy to be up here and be like, they didn't win. I'll go for it. I'm not a pussy. But I don't know. I understand that. I understand punting it.
Because they've done it before. 2 years ago, they played Kansas City in week 2. And that was that was one of the first times that they actually beat the Chiefs in an actual big spot. And they had Lamar and they ran him on 4th down, and it was oh my God, big balls, all this stuff. Yeah. And they just didn't do that yesterday. And now they're on this opposite side of just blowing games once again. It's so weird, but also at this point, especially with last night being week 1 and all that stuff, it's to the point where they're gonna get to a spot. And a lot of times you kind of just forget stuff. I feel for the rest of the year, we're going to be waiting for Baltimore to choke. We're going to be waiting for them to give it up
Mhm.
And it's weird.
What's funny part is it just confirms priors. We already were waiting for Baltimore to choke. They already were like the team that they should have won the Super Bowl last year. They were the best team in the regular season as far as all the reasons thought they'd be this year, a complete roster and stuff. Like they were that team. Obviously, the Chiefs were 15-2. They were also being Chiefs stuff, but like they were winning in spite of weaknesses, right? And it was like insane that they had this high level offense with no downfield threats and just dink and dunk football. So there was the concern there. There was no real concerns for the Chiefs last year heading to the playoffs. Like they should have beat the Bills on paper in terms of people's favorites. So the fact they didn't do it last year, those are already kind of this looming thing of like, yeah, we know that they have Lamar, they have this crazy addition of Derrick Henry, but we saw them fail and it's always something with them. So the fact that it happens now again, you're right. They're never going to shake that.
It is always something. And it's like, it truly is frustrating because again, in the first half, you're like, oh my goodness, this team is like, they're going to run over everybody in the league. This also like in the first half, I was thinking that because they were so dominant, but I was also like, yo, Buffalo, what are y'all doing? Like, because they were getting beat in the same way that they got beat in the regular season last year.
Their defense is a problem still in some ways.
Yeah, when Derrick Henry did basically the same thing, like ran for almost 200 yards, had 2 touchdowns, and was like, hey, me and Lamar, like, we're those guys. And then the first 56 minutes of this game was the exact same way. And then now we're on the opposite side. And Josh Allen's like, you stay over there. Like, it's really, he did his, for all the offseason talk about, like, yeah, Pat's not one, and, like, it's either Josh Allen or Lamar or whatever. I got to give it to Josh Allen. He's putting up a pretty damn good case to be one and to be that guy. Like, he's doing everything that he can, and it doesn't hurt that you just came back from 15 down at home on Sunday night against the guy that you won MVP against last year. Like, he's hooping.
It's like when he came back from 16 down or so, and the way in which he was able to come back was such an exotic fashion. Again, that's the words I used earlier for the Baltimore Ravens. Like every single thing imaginable went wrong, from the missed field goal to like they went ahead and they had an opportunity to like just bat a touchdown that was thrown towards the back right of the end zone, I believe, and it like hit a Baltimore Ravens defender's hand, and then just slipped into Keon Coleman's hand early or late in the middle of the fourth quarter or whatever, around like the 3-minute mark. So much went wrong. Of course, there's the fumble that pretty much sealed the game and really won the Buffalo Bills. That when it comes to like going back to your question, would you rather punt or take the fourth? Josh Allen is I understand the hype now. I understand the canon. I understand how we just like, he's like damn near an avatar, the way he just finds pockets of air in tight spaces and the timing of it all too, to go ahead and go away from your offense completely to what got you there and just look like a completely different team is stunning. And it's all in those, when it comes to type of plays that Josh Allen made, I don't know how many quarterbacks can go ahead and do something like that.
In the same way that Mahomes has kind of filled the Brady gap, as like the best player that starts his career, bombs away, then they go through this part of their career where naturally by paying other stars, you make the receiving core weaker and have to rebuild it over time, and you kind of become a dink and dunk team where you're winning by the IQ and the abilities of your quarterback to make it happen and raise talent around him. Josh Allen in this game felt to me like, oh, he's occupying the Aaron Rodgers hole that we used to have where don't give him 30 seconds. He's going to walk you down and beat you. This guy can just make miracles with his legs, improvisation, has all the arm talent in the world. Like that yin and yang feels very similar right now after this game where I just had premonitions of watching that one meme of the guy that's in the Packers crowd at the Cowboys game where he's like, they think the game's over because there's 32 seconds left and he walks him down. Yeah. That's how I felt in this.
And so like some of the more shocking things was obviously it's the comeback at the end. I was shocked that they were able to get a field goal before halftime.
Yeah.
And cut it down to just a touchdown game and get it, into a one-score game and keep it that close. Like, dude, watching that for me, I was like, oh my goodness. It's like everybody's gonna talk about the comeback, obviously, but like that right there, I was like, that's his like 13-second moment where it's like you're really just supposed to go into the half, and then seeing him be able to do that, and everybody knows you're you are going to defend the sideline. And it doesn't matter. I'm going to throw the ball to the sideline. We're going to complete it. And there's all that. Josh Allen was awesome. And so for him to defend his MVP honor in that way in week 1 is crazy. So yeah, I think like the overreaction for the Ravens would be, yeah, you guys are just not going to make it because you are
no ice in your veins.
Right. Because you guys are just not clutch. Yeah. And whether it be a Lamar playoff performance, a John Harbaugh, a Tom Munkin situation, whether it be Derrick Henry fumbling, any of that, like you guys are just going to find a way to lose. And then for the Bills, it's like, okay, like the 1 seed and the AFC playoffs is going to go through Buffalo.
So to talk specifically about the Bills, their safety's still an issue. Obviously, Derrick Henry is quite a difficult task to ask him to deal with, but we saw that they're way too soft against the run. Ever since Micah Hyde kind of faded out, we haven't seen them have a strong safety room. It's been their Achilles heel. Still is the case now. I think that's a big part of why you saw them go down by 15 in the fourth quarter. And defensive tackle, still an issue. They drafted 2 rookies there that as the season goes on, we can expect Walker, expect Sanders to become a force and hopefully solve that. Not a day one fix. That clearly is your 2 biggest issues stopping the run. So getting that out there first, that's still a problem, right? But offensively, I am encouraged. And specifically, my overreaction is related to what I have on screen right now. Overreaction is Keon Coleman is here. After week 1, he's the answer to their problems. Because in week 1, he ran 44 routes, 11 targets, 8 catches for 112 yards, and a touchdown. This is, they drafted him because they had a lack of an outside threat in the receiver room. Shout out Khalil Shakir. He is what he is, a specialist, has a unique connection with Josh Allen that makes him go out of the slot, but not somebody that can reliably create downfield and make big plays. They bring in Josh Palmer to do that, who is a good role player. I'll say that. He's like a replacement level receiver that can be an X for you and do some downfield stuff they need. But Keon Coleman, as a first-round pick last year, was clearly their X factor, why they drafted him for that. Not a good rookie year. I wasn't out on him, but I was concerned. I was like, there might be a world where maybe it's just a miss of a draft pick. I feel like he wasn't particularly dynamic, but it was a rookie year. This first game, highly encouraging. If we continue to see this, they were throwing him goal line fades. And that says a lot because even though it wasn't always successful, they feel like he's a goal line fade type of guy. Yeah. And for Josh Allen and Joe Brady to trust that means to me they saw a lot in camp and they said he's ready to be that guy.
I'm very excited. I want to see what it looks like obviously going forward because like you are in a very like, hey, we need to throw the ball type of situation last night. And so, but if Keon Coleman is that guy, one seed is theirs. Yeah. Because their schedule is also, I like their schedule and their division is just easier than what the Ravens have to go through, than what the Chiefs have to go through with their issues. And so, like having the Bills at the peak of their powers, where a couple years ago, when they're going toe-to-toe with the peak of Mahomes and you have a Stephon Diggs there and you have a number 1 receiver that you can count on in big moments and say, I trust him and to make plays, especially down the field. If you are able to replace that and then on top of that, still have Josh Allen's quarterback sneak ability, you still have James Cook who can make plays. You still have Ray Davis who you can also have in there as well. It makes your offense so much more dynamic and it really does like Josh is at this point where it doesn't really matter what the defense is going to do. Like it doesn't matter if they are a top 10 unit or top 8 unit, whatever. Yeah. If you have Josh Allen, you're going to have a chance to make deep playoff runs. Easily. And so giving him all of the ammunition, like that's key. And once you get into these eras of your team where you're retooling, you have to hit on draft picks. And I think that like with the other team in the conference at the top, like with the Chiefs, and whenever we talk to it, that's one of the key things that you're seeing is one of the differences.
And because of all that, that's why I think when you think about the traditional word X factor, Keon embodies that to a T.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Okay, next game. We spent a lot of time on that game because how could we not? That is the game of the year. That is the headline we can all stop thinking about. Moving on to another big game, Detroit versus Green Bay. This is the biggest overreaction game we can have. Again, we're coming up here. The topic is to overreact, so we're going to do it. But keep in mind, we understand this is week 1. There's caveats. If there's ever an overreaction team for week 1, it is the Detroit Lions. Coming into the year, they have the biggest mix of talent and question marks. Mm-hmm. Losing both coordinators, one of which on offense is thought to be generational, right? And then losing a generational center and having 3 new starters on the offensive line in the interior, really 2 because Glasgow started for them last year, but now he's moving to center, which essentially makes him a new starter because he's playing a new position. That is some of the biggest question marks for any team that considers himself a contender, which they deserve the label for talent-wise. And I think a lot of people were ready to write them off. And last week we did an episode in which we gave a bold prediction for every team, and I had the Lions, and I said my bold prediction is they will be okay. That's all I wrote. I said, I think they'll be fine.
Which is sounding pretty bold right now.
Yeah. I was like, I think they'll weather the storm.
Yeah.
If we're doing overreactions, they will not be okay. That's the overreaction is Ben Johnson was the one. Dan Campbell is a clipboard merchant, sits there and screams, culture guy, but doesn't know anything. All this stuff, all those people that wanted to say that, they were given ammo because they did not look good in week 1.
They are, like, for me, the overreaction is more so on the Packers side. And like,
Hell
if
yeah.
if you're a Packers fan, you're like, hey, we're winning the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
like we got it. For Detroit, I don't feel like it's an overreaction. I feel like at seeing what you saw yesterday, you saw that all of the questions, we were right to have questions about all of that.
For sure.
And we were right to doubt everything. And they looked like a team that could not get into what they wanted to do because they like to run the ball. They like to have they like to use play action with Jared Goff. They like to be very, very multiple. They could not get into those situations. And a lot of it is because the interior of your offensive line, guess what? The 3 new starters did not work well yesterday.
That was the bigger thing. Because I think with the new offensive coordinator, it's going to take time. And so general rule of thumb for week 1 of any football season, offenses typically are slow to start the season. You always see wonky shit with offenses looking terrible, and they come out in recent weeks after that, and they look normal, right? So there's that playing for you, and that is exasperating when you have a new offensive coordinator. The first game together, I'm not panic button yet about the offensive coordinator thing, just because I think that makes sense that it needs time to figure it out, especially when you lose someone as genius as Ben Johnson. You got a lot of things to figure out to make up for that value. If you're going to do this is the real issue that will sink them, it's the offensive line. The offensive line looked horrible. There were so many run plays. You mentioned that they couldn't get going. This new scheme was clearly predicated on we're going to establish the run, and we're not going to be able to manufacture the rack touches that Ben Johnson did. He's a genius there. But we can continue to make Jared Goff one of the league's leading play action passers by having a strong running game and getting all of our receivers running in space on shallow crossers off of that. The run game couldn't get anything going because every time you look up, Graham Glasgow at center is missing his assignment because he's not used to playing center.
Yeah.
What's the other? Not Radledge. The other starting one who was the backup last year. Why am I blanking on his name?
I
can't remember. I'm blanking right now.
Yeah.
But they were just getting blown up on the interior runs against post Kenny Clark, depleted defensive tackle room of the Packers, which I think showed out that they're not just Kenny Clark. They have young pieces that were Christian Mahogany. Yeah. Did not perform well on the run. And I think you just saw a lot of stuff run attempts that went nowhere and led to drives fizzing out before they could begin. That's a real issue. And if that doesn't get fixed, that could be the nail in the coffin for them. And the other thing that I think could be a real issue, that this is the one that I overlooked because I decided to give this guy credit. Hey, man, Jared Goff has never been good under pressure. You're going to be under pressure more without Ben Johnson. We've only seen him be elite under Ben Johnson. If maybe he just doesn't have the floor raising. Okay, so he's a top 10-ish quarterback, right? And I think a part of the calculus of why they'll be okay is because they have a great quarterback that can keep you there. If he is just like a super role player quarterback that is good with Ben Johnson, but maybe has a lower floor, that could complicate the fact of them staying a playoff team.
Yeah, I'm not too worried about like the Ben Johnson aspect. I wouldn't ascribe like seeing what I saw yesterday and then seeing what we've seen of Jared Goff throughout his entire career. I think I'm not ascribing a majority of his success at this point to Ben Johnson. Obviously, it helped, but like the fact that if he can't perform, regardless of who's calling plays, if once he gets pressured, he's cooked. That's not on Ben Johnson.
Yeah,
right. But it might be. Ben Johnson was uniquely skilled at preventing his quarterback from being in pressure situations because he's so good at creating easy layup passes that lead to rack opportunities, and obviously the run game stuff that he's excellent at. So again, I don't think he's a Ben Johnson merchant either. That's why I said they'll still make the playoffs. Yeah. Because when I said they'll be okay, I've been saying I think the Vikings and the Packers could win the division, but I think the Lions will be in the playoffs still, will win 11 plus games. If you tell me that the thing we didn't see coming is Jared Goff being a Ben Johnson merchant, for lack of better words, that wouldn't be entirely surprising.
Yeah, and also too, like, what if this team just has naturally a ceiling with who their quarterback is, at least on the offensive end, and then also what if this team just faced day one? They weren't ready or prepared. Clearly, it looked like that. But also, what if they faced like one of the 7 most hellacious defenses in the NFL too? And this is just the opposite, like the absolute worst test to go ahead and receive on week one as well.
Maybe the Packers are like that.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And I was say, and we're really gonna see, like, it's all everything in the NFL is connected, and so we're gonna call Jared Goff Ben Johnson merchant.
Mm-hmm.
Is Ben Johnson an offensive line merchant? Because we're gonna see tonight in Chicago and how that offensive line looks, and if Caleb and their offense can look like it can be on schedule. But like Ben Johnson and everything that he's allowed to call in creating all of those layup passes, that's because you have 3 guys on the interior that can actually protect, and so that's your foundation of doing all of this wonky creative stuff. And so I'm very, very excited to see what the Bears look like tonight. This is, oh my goodness. Michael Parsons looked amazing. And he was killing Penei Sewell.
Yep.
He looked so good. And every time he was on the field, and maybe it's just because like the trade was out of nowhere. I feel like Jim Nantz did such a great and like targeted job of making it feel like every time Michael Parsons was on the field, it was this like show-stopping, game-changing moment. And every play that Michael was out there, it just felt big. And he delivered. Like he was awesome. He was providing pressure. Yes. And with him, with Michael Parsons there, with Edgerrin Cooper behind him.
Played a great game.
Yo, man. These guys, I mean, what Happily did last year, and then what it looked like they're going to be able to do for the rest of the year, this is going to be one of the best defenses in the league.
Yeah, exactly. And with all the things that I heard about the Packers last season, a lot of their talent was back there with Xavier McKinney.
Yes, best DB by far.
Yes, exactly. And of course, that's great. But a struggle of their defense was, of course, that front line defensively. And to see how well like Micah Parsons just was able to impact the game overall made the guys back there as well, their job entirely so much easier too, because Jared Goff couldn't keep his fucking head straight through the 2 guys trying to cover Micah Parsons, which allows a couple other guys to leak out and get a couple hands in his face, shove him, push on the ground and all that. So easily, this is like, I see the value of what an edge rusher to that talent is, because he just transformed the entire defensive game as one man. I see it.
The thing that concerned me the most watching the Lions game, they just had no downfield attack. And this graphic sums that up. His average depth of target, that being Jared Goff, was just 4.2 yards, the 5th lowest of his 444 game career. And this makes total sense. You know, there's a rise of cover 2 defense. I haven't had time to go back and watch the all 22 from the Packers yet. I imagine they completely bracketed the outside, ran 2 deep safeties, and said, you're going to have to run the ball well to make us bring a safety into the box, or beat us down low and do the normal Ben Johnson stuff where you throw all these drags, throw all these crossers, and create rack opportunities. They cannot do that, and they cannot establish a run. So there was no reason to force the defense into leaving what was working, and they were able to completely put a ceiling on the offense. They could not attack downfield. And when you just don't have a running game, you don't have a downfield attack, you have to resort to beating them within the numbers on these short intermediate passes. And to do that, to win that way, you need an amazing quarterback. You probably need a quarterback that's mobile and can run, and you need an insanely fast processor. And we didn't necessarily see that. Like, it was just an overall defensive masterclass.
Yeah, I am worried about Detroit, and I'm extremely high on Green Bay and everything. Yeah. And also, Jordan Love, for the first part of that game when they were rolling, I mean, Jordan Love, the first touchdown pass that he had to Tucker Kraft was one of those throws where it was like, okay, he's here. Yeah. And I think for a lot of last year, like, again, part of the reason why I'm so high on Jordan Love coming into the year was because he'd spent a majority of last year being injured. And now we're in week 1 and he's healthy and he's at home and he's throwing just these dots, these dimes, lasers, all of it. And if he can make those throws, the thing for him is always like the Green Goblin mask, and are you going to make the overly aggressive play at the wrong time? But knowing that he has that type of arm talent, you have a guy like that with everybody else, man, they got it. Like that is a team that should be in the NFC Championship game.
Yeah. The Lions had a 31% rushing success rate in this game.
Damn.
That is the lowest since 2022. In the entire Ben Johnson era, they never had a game with a lower success rate rushing the ball on design runs than 31%. That's the big thing to me. We'll see how everything else comes together. Maybe their new offensive coordinator, maybe Morton is good. Maybe he's regular. Maybe he's bad. We don't know. It will start with can they run the ball, and that will start with that new trio on the interior offensive line.
Yeah.
That's all that matters to me going to next week. I think the passing stuff will come around. I'm treating it like they have a regular offense now and not a supercomputer running it, which is a big difference. But the talent can still work if Montgomery and Gibbs can be a factor on the inside.
Yeah, 100% agreed. Gibbs' power just didn't magically just get zapped away at all, bro.
Yeah, an overreaction for the Packers. They win in the Super Bowl. Next game, let's talk about. We're being pretty positive so far. Let's talk about some teams that maybe we're worried about. Jacksonville versus Carolina. This was the game I was most looking forward to. This is the game I was locked in on the 12 o'clock window. I watched every down of it until the fourth quarter became garbage time. Mostly because you've convinced me to believe in the Panthers. You and your Bryce Young love have convinced me.
Talk about. You also picked them.
Yeah, no, I'm saying you convinced me because I was sold on the Panthers. You convinced me all offseason. And I was like, you know what? I appreciate teams that address their needs in the offseason. They did that. They addressed the run defense a ton with free agency, with the draft. They got the wide receiver one, so they don't have to have Leggett dropping every ball now. They did everything they need. I believe in Dave Canales, and I believe in addressing your issues. And I believe in rewarding teams that make meaningful improvements on the roster and not sticking to just narratives. But that was all predicated on Bryce Young's last 9 games of last season being real, which was a big iffy question mark for me. You convinced me it was real. And bro, Bryce Young looked like week 1 Bryce Young last season. I can't imagine a quarterback worse under pressure than Bryce Young on his bad games.
I'm not going to lie. Seeing this game over here made me think. I think the Panthers used to prep for the year 2026 and look towards their next quarterback because it's that. And then also, I think they also need to prep for the year 2026 too, to find a new offensive coordinator because absolutely nothing went right at all. When it comes to a quarterback like Bryce Young, okay, I've noticed, obviously the trend is you have to have a bigger quarterback. Bigger quarterbacks in general have all of the biggest advantages ever because they can see over the field. A lot of their passes don't have the ability to, more often than not, get batted down or touched or deflected or anything like that. Can get through, can withstand a whole lot of different things. And what's supposed to be the superpower for Bryce Young is that brain, is that dome, is that mind, making all types of smart reads, quick and decisive, and just none of that is there. And then when you take that away from him, which is just wasn't available last night at all.
Yeah,
what is he?
Bryce Young without elite dome is just like he looks like he's not belonging in the NFL. And so that was the annoying part is we did see moments. His touch on outside throws was really good. When he had clean pockets early in the game, you see everything that makes Bryce Young good. He had legitimately good plays, but there was so much of the bad. He folds under pressure to a degree that no other quarterback right now does. He panics. There was a 4th and 1 at the 3-yard line. He threw it at the back of the end zone. He threw it away on 4th down at the 3-yard line. The only reason that makes sense is if you're panicking and saying, "Oh fuck," and you just throw it. Like otherwise, he could have took off and run. He could have tried to squeeze in a pass to one of the routes that nothing was open, but like you try to make something happen. He threw it out the back of the end zone on 4th down. There was a pick 6 that got called back, which would have been his 3rd turnover of the game. Oh my God, complete panic. He turns off completely and goes into instinct, and that instinct is fear.
Man, not too much. Not too much. Nah, we actually can't do enough. Like that was as bad as a season opener as you can have, and the bad part about it is like you can see the flash. Like T-Mac had a catch where it was like, oh my goodness,
he was great in general.
Yeah. And like you want to surround Bryce with all of these pieces, and you're kind of doing that. And it's a lot of times, especially with young quarterbacks, I do feel like I'm kind of quick to blame the coaches and be like, it's y'all's fault, and you guys
deserve a little bit,
right?
Of it,
but you guys are kind of like ruining this quarterback. I can't do that here with Bryce Young.
No, it was completely Bryce Young.
It's like this is something where you're right. You are going to have to make that decision on whether or not you want to keep going with it. And I don't think that if you do, it's going to be a very profitable decision for you. And if I'm a Panthers fan, I'm worried. Yeah. Like I can't do this for the next 3 years, exactly. Let alone the next 3 months.
Because keep in mind, like we said, week 1 offenses take time. It's not uncommon to see an offense shit the bed. It's not uncommon to see a young quarterback shit the bed in week 1. Like we're gonna get to Denver, Bo Nix, similar situation to this game. We are not gonna come up here and say we don't know if Bo Nix should start in 6 weeks yet.
This guy hates Bo Nix, man. That's crazy.
No, I just said he's not Bryce Young. I'm doing the opposite.
Yeah.
But Bryce Young,
Very
simply
true.
by the fact that we have seen the 9 games, which he looked like a real good quarterback. But early last year, and for 90% of his career, essentially, we've seen Bryce Young play at the level of the worst quarterback in the NFL. So any game that would normally be brush it off week 1 is goddamn PTSD for Panthers fans. He was pressured on 40 dropbacks yesterday. Guess how many passes he completed on those 40?
3.
It's 2.
Fuck.
2 passes.
Do you know how bad you have to be in order to be viewed as, during week 1, the worst quarterback in the NFC South?
Damn.
Like, what are we talking about right now? Like, with what expectations that were set on them, talking about all the moves aside defensive end, that has nothing to do with him, but overall, holistically, all the improvements that were made on this team. They got him a potential wide receiver when he looks sold as that, made all these other random moves. Of course, they went ahead and they lost their I think his name is Adam Thielen.
Yeah.
which is crazy.
Which
because
doesn't
like,
matter.
I
that
think
much
his name
too.
is Adam Thielen.
Yeah.
Yeah, they traded their veteran receiver.
Which doesn't make all the difference in the world, obviously.
Well,
But
it does.
no,
Because they traded him because they were confident in Jalen Coker being their new slot receiver, and he got hurt. So they traded him because they feel good about a guy who's also not there either. So that is a hole they're missing.
What, he's like old as hell. He's like 35, 36.
He is old. He's not that great. He doesn't
But he
have
helps.
explosiveness, but
You're
he's
right.
very secure. And having that security blanket for young quarterback is big.
which was very weird whenever they decided to trade him. But like,
It's not though if you really believe Coker's the guy, but the fact that Coker pulled his hamstring a day later is just unfortunate.
Yeah.
but no, it's bad. Yeah, it's bad. It's bad for them. On Jacksonville side, like they won, but like, okay, I guess. Like,
Yeah, overreaction is they're still mid. But actually, overreaction is they're still mid, and Travis Etienne is going to be an all-pro running back this
Yeah.
year. Because that's about the only thing that was good going for him. The receiving game was pretty much non-existent. Brian Thomas's only big play was an end-around touchdown rush that he made. Before that, it was where's Brian Thomas Jr.? Travis Hunter had, I think, like 45 receiving yards, was deployed in a slow way to figure it out, which is fine. Trevor Lawrence didn't look great overall. Against the defense has improved, but not great.
Yeah.
Especially in all 3 levels. They actually got no pass rush in this game, Carolina. I'll pull up this stat. Trevor Lawrence was under pressure exactly 0 times in this game.
Yeah.
Actually, no, my bad. He was pressured on 18.2% of dropbacks and allowed 0 sacks. So it was a pretty easy going game in terms of pressure from the defense. And Trevor Lawrence still didn't look great. Now, Liam Cohen, we knew, revived the rushing attack last year with Jacksonville, turned Bucky Irving into a star, got something decent out of Tucker and Rashad White. Looks like that's being brought over right here. And, there's this 3-headed running back situation in Jacksonville. Looks like Etienne is the guy. There was a lot of question marks in terms of like fantasy talk. Is he out of there? Because he had an iffy year last year, and the previous coaching staff kind of went towards Tank Bigsby. And there was a little bit of noise that maybe these guys like Tank Bigsby too. It'll carry the momentum. Nope, they hate Tank Bigsby. They gave the ball to Etienne every time, and he cooked.
Listen, when you're playing somebody like Carolina, that's all you really have to do. And so like we're gonna find out, we're gonna learn more about the Jaguars moving forward. There really wasn't a lot to take away. It was also a weird game because you had a weather delay in the middle of the second quarter, and so
How was your Travis Hunter watch?
it was cool. I mean, he was fine. He was okay.
Uneventful.
Yeah. The whole thing really did get thrown off because of the delay. And I was like him, like I had the quad box going. I made sure that Panthers Jags was going to be in that quad box.
Yeah.
And then it was just like, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was overall like a little bit uneventful, but that was one where Bryce, you got one more time. Listen, you're not going to have me looking stupid out here in the streets.
That's your son.
He's about to be out for adoption. There's that.
And I like so much of what Carolina's cooking, and it's all predicated on Bryce Young being good.
Yeah.
Like they have so much. I really truly believe in Dave Canales, and I really truly believe in their defensive moves this summer and the edge rushers they invested in Nick Scorton and Princely Unamali. Or I said that completely wrong. Princely, I'll say that. I believe in everything around Bryce. And Chuba Hubbard was getting good looks in the first half. Like,
but do I believe in Bryce?
I don't know. Like, I want to, but there's again 90% of his games he has been the worst quarterback in the league. Yeah. So we're clutching onto the pearls of that 9 games last year when you could just as much say it was a blip in the unsustainable direction as it is a blip in the sign of the future direction. Right now, it's looking like a blip in something I don't want to have anything to do with.
Yeah, tough.
Next game. Speaking of some young teams that lots of expectations for them. New England versus Las Vegas.
Oh my God.
This was a battle of two teams that all offseason I was like, let's slow down a little bit. Obviously, I've been hating on the Raiders. That's probably some Chargers fan in me, but also I think people have been doing a little fast with them in terms of like they're gonna make the playoffs and win a playoff game. That was a bit much for me. I'm like, I think they're a solid 7-8 win team. And New England, everyone's like, sneaky playoff team, 1 year rebuild under Vrabel. And I was like, what are y'all talking about? They are far away. And my God, are they far away? Las Vegas looked like world beaters. They looked insane compared to New England.
Hell yeah. Hey, listen, Las Vegas, we are up. And all of my bold predictions, I feel very good about. This team they're winning 9 games. Like I feel very good about that.
Okay, so what's your overreaction take? Is it that?
Gino, you are the man.
Yes.
Yo,
let's talk about that because we also in one of our first episodes we did our tier list and we were like, Geno Smith is really good. This is at worst a top 12 quarterback. You could argue the 10th best quarterback in the league. We ranked him as such. I think we gave him B tier in our list over Bo Nix, over some other guys that people were like, no ball knowledge. Geno's mid.
Yeah.
What do you know? He had 9 passes of over 20 yards today, the most in the NFL by far. Surgically beat the shit out of what is a terrible defense, but lit them up, looked every bit of a top 12 quarterback.
Yeah, like I think the game that we watched yesterday showed how audacious, how accurate he could be, and also like just the vision that he has when like he's given the necessary time through his offensive line.
Yep. Great under pressure, will be aggressive. Obviously, that aggression sometimes has a little Jordan Love brain. Well, he'll try to squeeze the ball too hard and do a little much and cause some near interceptions, which is a couple in this game that could have been picked that weren't. So that will happen. But he does so much more good than bad. The nerds are up. Geno Smith is the nerd favorite quarterback. He's better than you think. He looked like it. Now, with that being said,
what's up?
To me, the bigger takeaway is that he's playing the New England defense. And how do we feel about New England? Because, I'm with you with the Raiders entirely offensively because I'm also a Geno Glazer. But the question for me is defensively what they can do, the Raiders, and whether or not they're good enough defense to get them to the 9-10 wins you're expecting. Yeah. New England looked really bad on both sides of the ball that I don't know how to parse the Raiders' weaknesses right now because I felt like I was watching a really bad team in New England.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, so everything, we'll break it down. One, New England, yes, they did look bad. And Vrabel is one of the main guys where even if the team is gonna lose, you always feel like like the team is at least gonna be prepared and look competent, and that didn't necessarily happen yesterday.
Yeah.
Obviously it was a massive step up from what they were looking like under Gerard Mayo, but it was better. I also felt better about the Raiders going into that game because of I don't know. I just the upgrade in bringing in Geno is like you know that is going to be a bigger upgrade as opposed to whatever internal upgrade of New England in saying like year 1 Drake May to year 2 Drake May. Like how big is that gap going to be between Aiden O'Connell, Gardner Minshew, and Geno, right? And so I just think that it was going to be better. Also for New England, I was able to talk myself, and I was able to really convince myself whenever I was thinking highly of them that Drake May is going to be good enough that even though that these receivers are bad or mid to bad, that they were going to be able to be good. And I watched that game and I was like, yeah, like I thought he was going to be better, but that's on me because we were treating Drake May like he was going to be Josh Allen, like he was going to be Lamar, and it was going to be situation agnostic, and he doesn't need top 10 receivers. Like he's not a year 2 quarterback.
Exactly.
And that's on me, coach. I won't do that again because those receivers yesterday was like, oh,
yes.
Yeah, and that was like very predictable, I think.
I agree. Now, I will say, overall, nothing went good for New England. During my predictions list, or when we had our bold takes, I said that. Do you remember my take?
Did you say they make the playoffs?
I said that they
he
would
said
win
12-5.
12. They'll go 12-5.
Yeah, I mean that episode was about being bold and like purposely, but yeah,
exactly.
And,
but I will say, and with that being said, they now have only 4 more opportunities to lose the game before my hot take is in the trash.
I remember I called that crazy. We went through the whole schedule, and you were like,
"Yeah."
I was like, "Okay, I guess."
Yeah, exactly. It's already in the trash. Now I will say, this second half was more telling to me from like a coaching standpoint, while compared to like the first half, because I think it was a night and day difference. The amount of 3rd and longs defensively that they gave up, how they completely ran away from the run game and Trayvon Henderson. They gave him no looks, no touches. They didn't run the ball a lick in the second half is so telling from a coach's standpoint. And then the offensive line as well didn't do jack shit to go ahead and help Drake May at all. Like, he had such a polarizing game, and he wasn't amazing, but he wasn't like god awful. He had a couple looks. He had a touchdown. I think it was the back left of the end zone that looked really nice. Had really good sharp precision with that ball. But in general, this team looked like all of the improvements that they made didn't really move much. Like, I didn't hear none about the 30-year-old receiver who tore his ACL last year. I didn't hear about like all the random mass improvements that they made on the line. Just looked like random mass improvements. And this is just
their line wasn't great run blocking, wasn't great pass blocking. Yeah. There was a lot of pressure on Drake May. He also was like, Drake May is inaccurate right now. And it doesn't get talked about. Like, he's very similar accuracy-wise to like Caleb last year. He was throwing a lot of balls high. There was one pick he threw where he was under pressure and tried to do his normal Superman thing where he stands there, deals with it, and throws it without moving his base and with a no-step throws. That's something that he shows a lot of flashes in, but they're all flashes. There was one, I think it was, I forgot who he was throwing to. It was like essentially a slant or a dig, and he just threw it too high, and it went straight to the safety. Yeah. It was a really bad pick. That happened a lot in the first half, a lot of really high sailing passes. He's not at the level where he's pinpoint accurate enough to take advantage of his superpower of being under pressure. And Stephon Diggs, like you just mentioned, all summer I was gaslit. People tell me Stephon Diggs still got it. He does not got it when it comes to creating one-on-one separation in man coverage. He is not at that point where he can be your number one receiver. He wasn't at that point last year pre-ACL. He was number 3 receiver for the Texans for a reason. The Texans traded for him, and everybody was like, oh, are you sure you want to trade for Stephon Diggs at this point? Okay. And then he tore his ACL, and the team said, that's our wide receiver 1. And I'm led to believe that's going to be a playoff team with Pop Douglas, who shout out him, dynamic, likable receiver. He is 5'9". He is not explosive and vertically at all. When Stephon Diggs is your number 1 receiver, you need to have your second receiver hopefully complement that. That's not Pop Douglas's game. Kayshon Boutte is bigger and a little bit more of a downfield threat. He's Kayshon Boutte. It's just a bunch of complementary receivers making up a core that doesn't have a guy in any way really that creates any type of easy looks for Drake May. Combine that with Drake May's raw skills, I can't imagine this offense reaching a point where we're saying they can be in the wild card race.
They're not, and I think like they yesterday kind of proved that they are still way far back. Of where they're going to be, and this is part of the reason why coming in I was like, listen, whoever wins this game, like you're gonna get to 10 wins because it felt like
you did have that too.
Right, but like it felt like one of those matches where these are two teams in very similar situations, and so once we kind of figure out,
we say that, but not really though.
In terms of like off-season narrative, but even bringing in a new coach, having this quarterback upgrade that you think is going to happen, kind of remaking a lot of stuff about your identity, and so they were the two that were supposed to take leaps, and so let's kind of measure out where we kind of feel that we're at. And I mean the Raiders they won yesterday. Yeah. And so I do feel good about that.
Raiders, I don't really know what to take away because I feel very low what I saw from New England on both sides of the ball. But offensively, they're interesting, especially with how they use Brock Bowers. Fantasy Twitter was melting down because the first half, Brock Bowers played like 25% of the snaps. There's a lot of single tight end looks. He wasn't out there. He ended up with 100 receiving yards. He still ended up doing Brock Bowers things. Second half, he was killing them. But, there were still a lot of these plays where there's one tight end out there and it was Michael Mayer and not Brock Bowers. Confusing, right? You look at the end of the game stats. Brock Bowers played 33 offensive snaps, only 50% of the Raiders team snaps, which sounds low, right? But he got to 100 yards. How could that be the case? Because when Chip Kelly called the drop back, because when Brock Bowers was on the field, 84% of the time it was a drop back. Fellow tight end Michael Mayer outsnapped him, playing 65% of snaps with a 54-46 pass run split, which is pretty even. That's a pretty big tip of the hand here, says Benjamin Solak. Correct. When Brock Bowers is on the field, they throw the ball. When he's off the field, they run the ball. That is weird and rudimentary and something you don't expect to see from an offensive coordinator of this much experience in Chip Kelly. Typically, the point of a tight end and why they're so valuable is they're on the field. They can provide value as a runner and as a passer. I mean, in the blocker. Run game and the pass game. Oh. Whenever you're using Brock Bowers in his way and he's on the field, you're passing, that makes it so much easier for defensive coordinators. So while it worked against New England, very curious to see how this works against better defenses. Because that is just like, on the surface, that's not smart to give yourself a tell like that. It can still work because they're so talented and whatnot, but that's not a conventionally smart tactic.
They'll figure it out. I hope so. But that was also one of the intrigues about about the Raiders is that like you know that you don't have a lot of good receivers, so let's get into a lot of 12 personnel. Let's get Ashton Genty the ball, who didn't have like an amazing game, but you saw flashes of him. Like he did have the touchdown. You saw the second effort, and so he's
definitely gonna go as the offensive line gets more things together. But
and so but he'll be okay. But I do think like the progression of this is one of those things where this is also Chip Kelly once again readjusting into NFL offense. I thought he was going to be a little bit ahead of the curve based on what he was able to do at Ohio State and then bringing that over. But we'll see if he can kind of, ramp himself up and start being one of those OCs where you're like, oh, Chip Kelly got it. He's dialed. Like he's calling things up.
Week 2 versus the Chargers will be very telling for this team because like you said, Genty will go where the offensive line takes him. He didn't have great run blocking in this game. And the Chargers have a pretty good interior defensive line group of run stuffers. So we'll see how that goes. And it'll just be a much smarter defense, much more dialed in, where Jesse Minter's whole thing, you will not get explosive plays against the Chargers usually, right? They're going to run lots of 3 safety looks. They're going to make you beat them underneath. All these deep crossers for Brock Bowers, we have Derwin James, we have Henley, we have people that can deal with that, unlike the Patriots. We are going to be able to make it so you can't gash us like we're seeing today. Geno Smith and the Raiders had 9 completions of 20-plus yards against the Patriots. Yeah, I don't imagine that happening against the Chargers. If it does, they will win the game because that would be crazy. That'll be the deciding factor of when that doesn't happen and you aren't completely airing them out chunk play after chunk play. Can you run the ball consistently enough against a good defense? And can you have the pass protection and Geno having the necessary short game to be able to continue to keep up with the good offense like we saw from the Chargers, which I guess we'll get to next. Because defensively, that's another side, will be a big tell because we haven't seen them up against an average offense yet. What can the Raiders defense do against Justin Herbert and all them?
I agree, man.
But for now, okay, overreaction for the Raiders. They will win 10 games. Overreaction for the Patriots.
It's over.
They are more likely to win 5 games than they are 10. That's the overreaction.
Oh, yeah, man.
Okay, let's talk about that. Let's go back to Friday, to the Brazil game. Chargers versus Chiefs, a game in which we came up here and...
Go ahead.
I didn't come up here and say the Chargers are going to win. Just because I'm not an optimist with my favorite team. I am not a hopium type of guy, especially after losing Rashawn Slater. But we said this will be a close game, and we think the Chargers will cover. That was our prediction, that it'll come down to a last-second field goal where Patrick Mahomes puts a knife in my heart, and they win in a close game against Chargers like they always do, right? And that did not happen. It almost happened, but the Chargers came up clutch. They won this game because Justin Herbert played one of the best games of his career. Hit over 300 yards, was rushing, was dominating. The whole takeaway online after this was, wow, I guess this Justin Herbert guy is pretty good at football. Who would have thought? He's not a shitter. He's not a choker. He's not a bum that's overrated. That was everybody talking about online was, wow, look at that. He could actually play basketball. I mean, actually play football. And it was just like, is this y'all's first game watching this guy? Like, it was just like, this is a Justin Herbert game. Like, he's played this well before.
Yeah.
And apparently everybody got awoken after a hilarious offseason of discourse. We'll talk about the Chargers a lot. We'll get to that first. I mean, after. What did you feel about Kansas City without Worthy, without Rice?
Oh, man. I remember throughout the first quarter, maybe first 2 quarters, you sent out a text in the group chat. You're like, damn, maybe Madden was right about Pat Mahomes' deep
He missed 2 bad deep balls in the first quarter.
Yeah, he just didn't look necessarily on par. He didn't have a terrible game, but of course, like when you talk about Patrick Mahomes and the standards that he's set over the last few years, historic, one of the best of all time, just didn't live up to par. And also, this offense does feel so limited considering what happened with Worthy and the injury that he sustained. So dumb early into the game, just basically feels like their entire scheme was just handicapped.
Yeah.
All everyone was talking about was, oh, they're playing dink and dunk football and all that. And that's all they could do because of how limiting they were.
Because Worthy ran into a minivan. He ran into a refrigerator.
Yeah, he got absolutely nuked, bro, in the worst way possible.
I will say, you mentioned Mahomes, and it's like the first quarter, it was like, oh man, he missed 2 bad deep balls. Not looking great. By the end of the game, though, he played a pretty exquisite game. He had some of the most highlight plays I've seen from Mahomes in years.
Vintage Mahomes.
He looked insane. He had a fantastic game. And people will look at that game, and like you said, they'll say, he's not better than Josh Allen. He's not better than Lamar. Maybe, those guys will win MVP, so maybe those guys will have a better season. They will because they're weapons for sure. For what you said, with no Worthy, no Rice, they had nothing to work with. Their entire scheme out the window in the third play of the game. Mahomes played exquisite. He kept them in that game way longer than they should have. The Chargers should have dominated that game from start to finish. Mahomes was the goddamn superhero. In the second half, I was My stomach hurt watching him play.
I was very frustrated because I'm a very, very big Patrick Mahomes fan. And at this point now, I'm like, hey, if I see Patrick Mahomes horizontal, it's over. I've only seen him horizontal a couple times, and the last time was like 5 years ago in the Super Bowl. And you're like, he has no help. And once again, in week 1, he has to go horizontal to make plays. It's ridiculous. Yeah. And so I'm watching this game, and especially now that like Worthy's hurt, their number one priority, like, listen, my team, my GM, he saw some issues. We got people in for workouts today, right? The Chiefs, anybody who thinks that they can play running back, you should be in Kansas City. Right.
Remember my take from the bold predictions last week?
What?
I said for my bold prediction for the Chiefs, I said their playoff starting running back is not currently on the roster.
Yes. They need a back because they still, if you're not gonna have all the receivers everywhere and Travis Kelce is not gonna be the greatest receiving tight end of all time, you need to give Patrick Mahomes some help and you need to be able to run the ball. And especially with this offensive line, you have to have a back who can create stuff for himself. And that is not Kareem Hunt. That is not Isaiah Pacheco to the level that they need him to be. So they needed another running back. I think that like Josh Simmons was good. He was fine. I don't think like he wasn't the issue. You still had Jawan Taylor just getting destroyed and having false starts. You still had some times where the interior of the line had some issues, which, hey, guess what? You're starting somebody other than Joe Tooney at your left guard positions. There's probably going to be a drop off there.
Yeah.
I looked at them and I am very worried because Mahomes did do something in this game. I think him and another quarterback who we're going to talk later, they are fighting for the not his fault award this year. I think he snatched it from Justin Herbert on Friday. Like you can look at this entire team, this entire situation, and you're gonna be like, all right, Pat, like you're gonna have to do it. You're going to have to put the team on your back. And
I'm not that worried about the offense. Defensively, dude. Overreaction to the Chiefs. Their defense is no longer good enough to win a championship. Yeah. Overreaction. I mean, that's probably an overreaction, but overreaction is they are not championship caliber. I mean, I don't remember which episode it was. We had a conversation about the contenders, and we were talking about the Chiefs, and maybe it was a ranking contenders episode. And there was a point where I said, I expect the Chiefs to once again have a top 10 defense. Because when they have Spags, they have Chris Jones, they have all the guys healthy, they're always a great defense. When they have McDuffie and the slew of talent there, they are always a very good defense that plays above the sum of their parts. I don't know if that's the case anymore. I think you were like, I'm not sure they're going to be elite. Maybe they're not. Their edge rush group, dog shit right now. It was very bad. Now maybe it's Joe Alt tax. Because Joe Alt was gold jacket, Joe Alt.
Fucking goon.
He was locking up Chris Jones, locking up everybody on the left side. But they were getting no pressure on the Chargers. And the Chargers have a subpar offensive line post-Slater injury. They could not get any pressure on him whatsoever. It was not a good Spags game, who normally is amazing at generating pressure and making up for that. And with the great coverages in the back end, that wasn't there. And the secondary talent has just kind of depleted. I think they lost Reed in free agency. The thought was Hicks will come in and replace him. But, over the past couple of years, you lose Snead, you lose Reed. A few years ago when their defense at their peak, when the first Super Bowl they won when Mahomes had no weapons, it was like, oh, the defense is carrying, right? That was the narrative. Because they had insanely versatile DB room with Reed, Snead, and McDuffie, all of which could play inside or outside and do this versatile stuff. There's only one of those guys left. It's just McDuffie, and he's playing outside full-time now because they don't have any other outside corners. So the whole crazy defense they had out of their nickel packages kind of just gone. They're kind of vanilla there. Karlaftis is their best edge rusher, who is good, deserved to get paid, but kind of regular in terms of the grand scheme of top edge rushers. Chris Jones getting locked up by Joe Alt. He wasn't menace in the run game, though. He fucked up a lot of Ryan Hampton touches. But overall, they're not a high-pressure defense right now, and they don't have the most secondary talent. Kind of worried about that side.
I think that's the big concern because the phrase that you use in saying, like, I don't know if they're good enough to win a championship. The only reason why I push back on that is because we've seen Mahomes win Super Bowls with subpar defenses.
For sure, but subpar defenses and no weapons, that's just hard.
Yeah. But I'm not going to put that on like the offense or whatever. But that is purely
it's an overreaction.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's purely semantics. Everything that you said is right. Like this team, I was watching that game and I was like, yo, man, like are the Chargers going to win the AFC West? Because they looked bad, and this was something that it happened really all of last year, where you can see the signs of the defense starting to leak out and the defense starting not to be as good as it was the year before. And then you had the dink and dunk. But you said Mahomes is going to execute on third down. We're still going to win these games, and we're doing it by design. That's what the last 2 years have felt like. It felt like the Chiefs were purposely saying, we are going to slow the game down, wring out every single drop of life out of everything. Friday felt like they were being forced to do that. And it felt like they were doing that against their will. And so if that's going to be the case, then I don't like what I saw.
The Chiefs' individual win rates for each of their receivers. Marquise Brown, 6.8%. Travis Kelce, 10%. Tyquan Thornton, 9%. Juju Smith-Schuster, 9%. Look at the Chargers. Everybody is up higher. Ladd McConkey, 28. Quentin Johnson, 30. Keenan Allen, 25. Keandre Lambert-Smith, 14. Trey Harris, 20.
Will Dissly? Who's 4.8?
Will Dissly's 4.8.
Yeah.
He only had one. He only had 21 routes. And he's Will Dissly. But overall, just way higher win rate from the receivers on the Chargers side than the Chiefs. And so the Chiefs are the Chiefs. They'll be fine offensively. Defensively, we'll see. Maybe they have to make some acquisitions. Chargers side. Everything we thought about the Chargers was really put in question in this game. Greg Roman is an offensive coordinator that many Chargers fans will tell you, holding Justin Herbert back. Last year, he actually made some strides in terms of his passing volume and his passing efficiency. Their Chargers were top 10 in EPA per dropback, which is not normally something you see from Greg Roman, who is famously, for the last 15 years, one of the leading pound the rock, run first offensive coordinators since his 49ers days. Same thing with Jim Harbaugh. They are a connection of pound the rock, play old school football. In this game, in the first half at least, I haven't checked what the final numbers were. 70% of their plays were passing plays in the first half.
You know who's shocked by that? Rich Eisen.
Yeah, Rich Eisen could not stop talking about, whoa, they're passing the ball again? This Justin Herbert guy, what are they doing? Yeah.
He just found out about the forward pass. He was like, yo, this is crazy.
Not the best showing on Friday Night Football for Rich Eisen. That was hilarious. But yeah, they ran the ball, passed the ball like crazy. Really unlocked Justin Herbert. That was a takeaway, is Keenan Allen's here. Him and Ladd McConkey, fantastic combination with these high-low reads, with Ladd McConkey's gravity and Keenan Allen being really smart in these combinations of routes. Quentin Johnston looks fantastic, which is a funny sentence. He was cooking 2 touchdowns. They were airing the ball out. Yeah. They have legitimate weapons. My bold prediction for the Chargers last week was they'd be a top 10 offense because I think their passing game is going to be ready. And I'm curious about how the running game will go without Slater and the state of that offensive line. But I think they have the weapons to air it out and Justin Herbert to prove people wrong. He did that. Overreaction take, Justin Herbert's the guy named MVP. That's the takeaway from that game is Justin Herbert is on MVP watch. If we're doing a week 1 overreaction, if you've never seen these guys play before, you would leave that game thinking Justin Herbert is the MVP.
Yeah, dude. He has one of the best arms. I haven't watched too much football in my life that I've ever seen in my goddamn life. I will say that.
He's one of the best arms anybody's ever seen in their goddamn life.
I will say also that combined with the size and his ability to just like have immense patience as poise. Okay, given through that offensive line that game, Joel attacks, like you said, amazing. How he's also able to just like not have any limitations and not be afraid to run and just make all the right reads is just like spectacular. He has like a great combination of what makes almost like the perfect quarterback.
That's the new part. He's as like in terms of pocket play, making the right read, making the accurate pass all 3 levels. He doesn't have a ton of flaws in that way. The problem with him is sometimes he doesn't have the upper tier ceiling of some of the top tier quarterbacks of playing out of structure, running, using his feet, improvising. He kind of played like a robot for the first few years of his career, which he was an elite player, but never was in the same competition with the MVP level guys. He was getting his wheels on today. He was running. Yeah,
and he has that ability.
Yeah, so I think like if that aspect of his game is going to be unlocked, everything that you're saying, we're here. Like we're there. And so I think for the Chargers, the overreaction is like it's not going to be the Broncos that are competing with the Chiefs of the AFC West. It's going to be the Chargers.
Wow. And then I get tweeted this every time I think about this. I'm like, I agree. I just can't help but think, what if Slater didn't get hurt, and what if they had the best tackle duo?
AFC Championship game.
Like I would have been so like I can't get too excited right now because I do know what happened in the playoffs last year when they did all this stuff off of the brilliance of Justin Herbert in the regular season. They maintained a good offense because quiet as it's kept. I know you guys don't believe this. Last year, he played brilliantly all regular season. Then they get to the playoffs. They just don't have the talent. They don't have the protection.
No, we do believe that's why we make fun of him.
Well, I'm not talking about you. Some people just think he's a bum. That I think will still happen in the playoffs. They still don't have the talent on the line, the talent in the receiver room to compete with some of the top defenses. So I'm not too excited in terms of like championship, AFC championship type of run because they're missing out on an all-pro left tackle. I can't be too excited there. But everything else, like on the field, is really playing out that way. And people keep adding me on Twitter. People keep commenting like he's gonna be so insufferable, all the haters. And like I don't even get that worked up about it because did you see the video Carson from Nerd Sesh posted about it? He basically was like, it's the stupidest narrative of the last decade in sports that Justin Herbert is like crap, not top 10, overrated, all this stuff. It's like it's legitimately just like silly. So all summer, like I've seen it. I can't even get that worked up about it. Like I'm not out here arguing with Justin Herbert haters because it's like not based in reality. When someone's like, Bo Nix is better, I'm like, I'm just not gonna have this conversation.
That's fucking crazy.
Like I've just known that like this is silly and time will tell. Like he will have another 6 years of being one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL, and eventually people will realize the summer of 2025 was fucking brain dead. It'll be fine. So I'm not even like, yeah, we told you he's good. Like, duh.
Yeah. I just laugh at him because of the playoff stuff. Like that's my biggest gripe with Herbert. I don't really care about anything else because I do understand what he is able to bring to the Chargers. I just think it's funny. Like I
get it.
You know, like that's where I'm at with it.
Yeah, but there's so many people that are like, he had that one really, really bad game in the playoffs. Sucks. Bum. And that's third best quarterback in his division.
And for those people, I'm like, go back 2 years. There's another one for you. And so, but not like the Chargers. Like Martin Hampton didn't even go crazy in this game either. And so I think once like a Greg Roman team, they're gonna run the ball and they're gonna figure out how to do that. Hella high water. So I feel very confident about where Hampton is gonna go for the rest of the year. If Herbert is making throws like that, like he does, if he's running that way, they're going to be scary. But I am extremely worried about the Chiefs and their defense. Right now.
Definitely.
I'm a little worried about the run game. The interior offensive line for the Chargers is terrible. Zion Johnson and Bradley Bozeman is the worst center left guard combination of any team that's trying to win a championship.
Dudes are getting turned around.
They suck. They truly suck. Outside the Texans,
that was so embarrassing.
They truly suck. But they face Chris Jones and the Chiefs are historically a great rushing defense. So I'm giving another week. We'll see. Amari Hampton, there's plays where you're like, oh, that looks like a first round pick. He moves different, and that happened a lot. There's some vision issues combined with some bad blocking issues. There's people on fantasy Twitter overreacting. They're like, oh, he wasn't worth the second pick in dynasty drafts and all this stuff. He's a bust. TBD. He didn't play great in week 1 in terms of his decision making, but he was dealt a bad hand with some bad blocking against a good defense in his first game ever in Brazil. So I'm willing to give him a couple more weeks to really make any type of opinion.
Yeah, he had the mistake at the end of the half where he goes out of bounds. Like, I'm giving him complete first game tax because everything was just off and decisions across the board were bad. So once they're back in the States at home, you have like a regular, week of practice or whatever, you'll be fine.
And also in our breakout stars, I said Deion Henley is going to be all pro or Pro Bowl level.
Yeah. Like that.
He looked incredible.
Like that.
That sack he had on Patrick Mahomes where Mahomes tried to roll out. Yeah. And then he tried to like do his thing where he like is sneaky fast, gets around the edge. Deion Henley was like, oh yeah, I am like incredibly athletic. I'm going to come and tackle you instantly.
Yeah, he's like that.
Yep. Okay. Next game. Let's go Broncos versus Tennessee.
Hey man, Cam Ward is that guy. Cam Ward is awesome. Damn. He was great. For me, my overreaction for the Titans is that Cam Ward is going to lead this team to the playoffs. However, that's not going to happen with these receivers because they were dropping everything. But on the other side, and the more important side, y'all mans, Bo Nix, he was trying to give it up.
Yeah,
he was trying to give it up.
2 things: overreaction for the Titans. They're not making the playoffs. It's like the New England thing where like all this push. They're not making the fucking playoffs. Alec Eilmander is their wide receiver too. He's never played a football game. Their wide receivers.
It was straight brickhead. The clip of Cam Ward's dad in the stands was hilarious.
Yeah. So this Titans team is not ready. Offensively, Titans fans are incredibly mad at their coach. They said he coached one of the worst games of the season. I need to watch the game back to have a real opinion on why they feel that way. But their wide receiver room is terrible. Their offensive line, they put a lot of pressure on their tackles. I saw Theo Ash tweet. Who do they think Dan Moore and
Kevin Zeitler?
the right tackle, the rookie from last year?
Why I say Zeitler?
I know.
J.C. Latham.
Yeah, he's like, who do they think Jason Latham and Dan Moore are? Yeah, they were putting him on the island, asking them to be the best tackle duo in the league. A lot of pressure on them, didn't go well. The coaching apparently wasn't great. I gotta watch it back. The receivers, brick hands, no weapons around him. The last drive, when they had a chance to win, Cam Ward was driving down, throwing straight missiles up the seams, left and right, drop. They were slightly inaccurate, hard to catch. So it's like a mixture of both people there. Mm-hmm. This team doesn't have the offensive talent to like make a big splash this year.
Yeah, and it definitely got amplified when you go ahead and you face like the number one. Yeah. In my mind, I'm assuming the number one this season QB pressure team in the entire league in the Broncos. So it just helped it just made all their issues even louder. Their offense looked so disjointed, and there's like pretty much no takeaway for real for this team other than like Cam Ward. Like, he's going to be a guy, just not with these guys. You know?
Cam Ward is going to be king, not his fault. Cam Ward looked good eye test wise, but the numbers aren't particularly good because he had absolutely no help in this game. Mm-hmm. And that's going to be the theme of the season, I think. I think unless they make some move for another wide receiver, which granted, like you said, first game of the season, don't overreact too much, and they're facing the Broncos. Maybe they'll look better. They will look better to some extent. Mm-hmm. But in terms of like making a splash and doing this like 1 year turnaround like CJ Stroud and the Texans, I find it hard to believe they have the talent for that.
And yet, they were 1 point. They were 1 point away from taking the lead. They were close all game long to winning this game. As bad as everything that we just said, they were still close to beating the Broncos in Denver in week 1 in your rookie's first career start. And why was that, Isaac? Tell me why.
Because Bo Nix looked in the same way Bryce Young looked like vintage Bryce Young in the worst way. He looked like he did in the first week of last season, in which he played at the rate of one of the worst quarterbacks in the league. Bo Nix looked vintage Bo Nix in the way that he looked like Bo Nix from the first game of last year, where he played like one of the worst quarterbacks in the league. The story of last season, Bo Nix had a terrible start, incredibly inaccurate, wasn't ready, and then he turned it up in the second half of the year because they figured out some things to get him moving towards his strengths and negating his weaknesses. He's not at the point where he can sit in the pocket and read a field at all 3 levels and make NFL-level decisions. He got really good last year because he used his legs more. They rolled him out on bootlegs, so he only had to read half the field and really put him in position to make simple reads where he can keep the chains moving and be a game manager that is good enough, which is not an insult for a rookie quarterback. That's something that's encouraging to see. He could do that as a rookie. Mm-hmm. In this game, he looked absolutely terrible, made baffling decisions standing in the pocket. You can tell they tried to take those training wheels off a little bit and put him in those situations to read the field and be a big boy quarterback. Did not go well. He threw baffling picks. There was one pick in which, I forget the exact formation they were running. There was a shallow crosser coming from the left side that I think was Cortland Sutton. And then in the back, Troy Franklin was running what was essentially a deep crosser. Mm-hmm. And there was one safety there. I'm assuming they were running some kind of cover 2. That was a deep safety that came down on that crosser. And the read there is there's one safety in conflict there. If he comes down the shallow crosser, because they're running man and there's that one safety, throw it to the back crosser because he's going to probably run past his man. If the guy stays back there, take the easy read on the short crosser. Safety came down hard as fuck on the short crosser. Wide open touchdown from Troy Franklin. He left his guy. It was a wide open touchdown. And he threw a pick staring at the safety who was clearly coming down. That is the most rudimentary quarterback read. That is a simple high-low. It cannot be more simple than there's one defender, 2 routes. Do the opposite of what he does. And he just stared at him. Here you go. Yeah. It was a baffling performance from a decision-making perspective.
Man, listen. This is what it is. And I think like for Denver, I was like, okay, like we have to really, really slow down. Everybody that thought that Denver was going to be like this Super Bowl contender, I understand it because on one hand, you want to respect units and you want to say this defense is one of the best defenses in the league, and you want to respect defenses and units and the fact that you do have Sean Payton, but also, guys, you got to have a guy, and I think that Bo Nix is good, and he's very, very solid. He's going to play better than what he played yesterday. So we do have to give him a little bit of grace. But if the times that you are taking off the training wheels and then we get to halftime and when you go back and you make your adjustments, if your adjustments are, we have to put those training wheels back on, then that's going to be the issue. And so for a lot of these year 2 quarterbacks, like some of them have time. Drake May has time. Caleb Williams has a little bit of time. The Broncos are very much right now. Yeah. They very much are. We're not worried about what's going on 3 years from now. We're not worried about building our window. We're in our window. right? You made the playoffs last year. You have everybody. You ask Sean Payton, he's talking about Bo Nix, as glowingly as you can ever do. That's why I do feel like we have to be a little bit harder on Bo Nix just because of the situation that Denver's in.
I agree. But I also think, too, on that same note, we probably should be a little bit more harder on Sean Payton because you do have your backs performed great last night, earlier in the day. Like RJ Harvey had a good game, and I think that going back to what you said, Isaac, when it comes to Bo Nix and the struggles that he has overall, he just seemed really shaken and just not composed at all. And I think you're right. He needs to go back to running the ball a little bit more. And also, I think that probably is a game plan thing for Sean Payton. If your quarterback is has genuine, what's the best way to put this?
Weaknesses,
flaws. Warts, weaknesses, just trouble reading the field at times and making certain decisions that should just be a 0.5 type thing. Make his life easier.
Well, he probably convinced himself that Bo Nix could do everything this summer.
I know what you're saying. Yes, I can theory run the ball if the passing is going well. They need to be able to pass the ball well. They had no passing attack. You have to be balanced. Yeah. And it really is he just has to be competent. And at the end of the day, they won the game. So there was good enough stuff in the end. But you can only do so much running whenever your quarterback is just giving it up every single time. He had the 5th worst EPA per play in the NFL this week. Below him was Tua, which we'll get to. Cam Ward, actually. Not his fault.
Can we do that?
Sam Darnold, Bryce Young, and Russell Wilson.
Yeah, genuinely, I think Bo Nix was probably the 31st best quarterback in the league last night.
That's not ridiculous. It's not ridiculous to say that.
Yep.
And again, this is a reaction. He will be better than that. He's not 31st in the league. But there was a lot of Broncos fans who were harassing every single member of the media who was doing any type of content around quarterback rankings. And they were like, how dare you not put him top 10? His numbers are almost as good as Jaden Daniels. How dare you not respect the GOAT? And I'm like, you guys are doing so much so fast.
Slow down.
Yeah, slow down. He's a fine quarterback that could be good enough for them to make a splash, make the playoffs, do all the stuff they want to do. But we don't got to pretend like this is some immediate star in the NFL.
Yeah, because he's not.
He's not. All right, let's talk about the disaster in Miami. Miami versus the Colts. The Miami Dolphins are a team that have had the crown for the worst vibes in the NFL this season coming into the year. All summer, it was yuck, man. Tyreek Hill is being a distraction. He doesn't want to be here. The vibes are terrible there. Mike McDaniels, his whole persona is wearing thin. Tua had a year where he can't keep his head on, and we don't know if he can play football without getting injured. It's kind of worrisome there. Their offensive line was dog shit. They addressed it, but not really. They didn't fix it. All these problems. We don't know if you feel like about the coaches, the players, the organization, anything. They made some weird decisions in the draft, giving up too many assets for one guard. So much is in the air that is this going to be a disaster? Yes. Week 1, overreaction. It is a disaster. The vibes are right. This team is heading for a blow up by week 6.
I'm actually mad at myself because I gave them way too much credit, and I knew I wanted to hate from the moment the offseason started. The whole offseason, I was like, but the floor is so high, and they do have all this talent offensively, and maybe they can make it work. I should have known this team is gonna go 2-15. I should have known. If you go out,
go 2-15.
I should have known.
No.
Also yesterday, I learned for the first time that Tua has a nickname. Tua turned the ball over.
Yeah, Tua turned the ball over.
I hadn't seen that before. I was dying. It's one of the best nicknames I've heard in a while.
This was an utter disaster. This was an ass whooping
How
on
did
all
he get
fronts.
pieced up by Daniel Jones?
Daniel Jones was leading the NFL in passing yards for 5 hours. He was cooking him.
I watched this game and I just ultimately came away with this question. Is Daniel Jones and the Indianapolis Colts good, or are the Dolphins bad?
The Dolphins are that bad.
Yes.
Maybe both. Maybe both.
Yes.
Maybe both. Yeah, yes. Maybe both. But in similar ways, we're talking about Bo Nix was making inexplicable decisions, and in similar way, talking about Bryce Young couldn't handle pressure at all. Tua looked motherfucking shell-shocked.
Yeah.
He looked like that all the injuries crept up to him, the concussions crept up to him, man, he looks horrified out there. The picks he was throwing and the near picks he was throwing, insane. It's he fumbled. He threw a pick on the first drive, fumbled on the second drive, threw a pick on the second drive, third drive that got called back. It was just an utter disaster that anything that could have got going, they had no chance. The run blocking was also shit, by the way. Surprise, surprise. Devon Achane's getting hit in the backfield every play. Surprise, surprise. Tua's not making any plays. The offense can't get going in the passing game to make up for the run game. Surprise, surprise. There's no Jonnu Smith to supplement the run game in the short pass ways. Surprise, surprise. It all just went towards the worst case scenario. And we all knew the worst case scenario was here. We knew this could happen. The vibes are there for a reason. When we did the ranking of every division, I was arguing that, okay, maybe with all this being true, the downside's there. Maybe they do have the floor, though. And maybe they, even when they were a disaster last year, they were competent enough that they were within striking distance of a playoff race, right? We were talking about them versus the Patriots for second place. And I was like, I don't know. The Patriots might take longer to get going than we're thinking. And I don't really think the Dolphins are going to be great, but I think they'll win 8 games or 7 games, whatever it is. And the Patriots might be right below that. We were talking about the wrong AFC East team because we're talking about the Jets in that way pretty soon when we talk about them. This team looks like equally of a disaster. That still could be true. You know, it is week 1. They still could come out and look like an average team that I thought they'd be. Nothing about last night was average.
No, man. They are not going to look average. And I'm standing on this now. I'm standing on it now. The Dolphins, I said the Steichen was going to be the first coach fired because I thought whoever lost this game, congratulations. Welcome to the unemployed line, buddy. And Mike McDaniels lost it. And so I think like he's going to get fired. Tyreek Hill,
Chief.
I said he's going to get traded before the end of the year. He is going to. That's going to happen.
Mike McDaniels to the Lions, new offensive coordinator. Tyreek Hill to the Chiefs. That's going to happen. Write it in. Where are we sending Jalen Waddle? Who needs Jalen Waddle?
I don't know. Washington.
Oh, that'd be sick. Okay, yeah, we're sending everybody somewhere else. That's the moral of the story. Everybody goes somewhere else.
Dual package. Tyreek Hill and HN to the Chiefs.
Oh my God.
How much is it going to cost, man?
Everything.
They'd be filthy.
Yeah. But no, I mean, this team sucks. And I think that we knew that they couldn't block last year. And if you can't block again this year and you have bad vibes, I don't want to deal with you. You're going to be bad. And again, the fact that you let Daniel Jones piece you up like that, you already
Daniel Jones is just like
stop. Don't even do that. We knew that they had one of the worst
secondaries.
One of the worst secondaries coming into the season. Post
Micah,
you had like some people got hurt yesterday too, so you were already going into your depth and into your reserves. This team is probably going to be picking no higher than the 7th overall pick in the draft next year.
I do still think there's a world in which they get back to average. And like, again, week 1s are weird offensively. I hesitate to say it's cooked, but like, I hesitate to say it's cooked because the world is there to get together.
Yes.
But they will be walking on the precipice of cook every single week.
Who are they playing next week? What's their
They will be on the verge of being cooked. They have so little margin for error. There is a world where they come out and they just look more normal. They play a better game. Maybe like Latu's taking a step, and the Colts defense is fantastic. Also, Tua threw a pick to Latu, which was hilarious. Threw a pick to a defensive lineman. But maybe there's a world in which the Colts are a little better than you think defensively. They get out of their system, a terrible disaster class from Tua. He isn't shell shocked and can play, and they get to 7-8 wins. They're average, uninteresting. That's possible. But every single game, there will be the looming Tyreek Hill meltdown, the looming locker room turning on Mike McDaniels. There will be a looming disaster. It'll be like a volcano that's bubbling up every single time they lose. It bubbles up a little bit higher. So while I do still think there's a ceiling of being average as a ceiling, the downside is probably way more likely.
So they face the Patriots in Miami next week.
Good test. They should cook the Patriots. They should be able to.
Absolutely should. If they can't do that, it's so fucking over, bro. Because the Patriots are one of those teams also who are not in the same boat. It's different, but they just very much don't have too much going.
I'm letting you know right now. They're getting pieced up.
By the Patriots?
They're getting pieced up. Listen, I have not looked at any. I'm letting you right now. I have not looked at any of the lines. One of my picks will be the Patriots over.
Whenever you say I haven't looked at any of the lines, I'm always about to say some disrespectful shit to the team.
I don't know what it is. Yeah. I'm taking the Patriots next week. This for you to say that their ceiling is average, that means that like a regular season of what they like can be and will be or whatever is probably going to be around 5 or 6 wins. Mm-hmm. This team is going to be picking in the top 10 of the draft. And I would be more willing to agree with you and side more on the 7-8 wins.
Hold on, I'm not siding there. I'm saying it's possible. I'm not siding there. To be that clear.
Even accepting that.
It's an insane allegation.
Okay, I'm accepting the reality as being possible.
Yeah. I would be more willing to accept that there's a possibility that they can get to 7 wins if we didn't already come into the season with bad vibes.
Yeah.
I can't live like that with like, yes, I like my wide receivers with some diva in them. We can't be having meltdowns. And for week 1 to already be having those issues, I
think the biggest issue is Tua. I think there's a
because he's not good.
Yeah, so
not good.
No. He's currently not good. Like he was not good today.
Yeah.
And obviously there's been times in which people like us have said he's overrated or said that he's not good enough to win at the highest level. While he clearly has skills, can process, is accurate. The limitations are limitations. It's Bryce Young-esque in that like for everything good he does, there's baked in downsides that you have to deal with. He's just slightly bigger than Bryce Young, so there's slightly less extreme downsides. But it's always been there. If everything's catching up to him and he's had multiple surgeries, ankle injury, brutal hip injury, multiple concussions. If all this stuff is just catching up physically and mentally, which is obviously the quarterback position is 60% mental. If all this is catching up and he's not good enough anymore, that could be the downfall. And I can totally see that. Like, I think the line will improve over time. They did get new pieces in that, like, I can buy that would take time in week 1. Jonah Savanea is a rookie, and he is like their linchpin of how their offensive line can improve. So any ceiling there of that being a big fix with James Daniels will take time, right? That wouldn't be an instant fix regardless. So I can buy that the run game will get better over time, that will all needs time. That it does, clearly, no matter what. If 2 is bad, 2 is bad. And it's only week 1, we don't know. He could easily bounce back week 2. He could be bad.
There's a link right there. Can you play what the Colts are doing to the Dolphins? Did you see this?
How disrespectful. Oh shit, yeah. Yeah,
Damn.
no, that can't happen, bro. That can't happen, man.
Literally dancing on your grave. This is one of what
Convulsing on your grave.
Yeah,
I can't
happen,
take
bro.
this. This is the ultimate disrespect. Shout out to Cam Bynum too.
Yeah, so overreaction, the Dolphins are on meltdown watch, and for the Colts, Daniel Jones is on franchise quarterback watch. There you go. That's your overreaction. There you go.
Oh, that's a crazy watch.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens there. Oh, Tyler Warren is on elite tight end watch. That's overreaction.
Ooh, he had a game, dude.
Yeah. Okay, time for a lightning round. We got to fly through. We're an hour and a half in. We've done 7 games. Week 1 is amazing. Lightning round time. Tampa Bay versus Atlanta.
Michael Penix is that fucking guy, bro. He has ice in his motherfucking veins.
You know they lost the game, right?
Of course they lost the game, but that has nothing to do with him. That's, again, not his fault, guy.
He played fine. Yeah, I think he played
Absolutely.
good. He played solid. They lost by missing a field goal at the end.
Not his fault.
Overreaction kickers don't deserve rights.
Yeah, cut their kicker, bro. Cut their kicker. That's what they need.
No, my overreaction, Becca Egbuka. You are not forget offensive rookie of the year, offensive player of the year. He was hooping.
He's him.
He's him.
Yeah, he's fantastic. Obviously, game-winning touchdown, 2 touchdowns. He was a common, like, as the offseason went on, it's like, yo, Chris Godwin's not going to be there. If you play fantasy, Egbuka's the one. And, yeah, man, he clearly fit in. He looks like he's going to be the guy that will lead this team in receiving yards by the end of the year. He looks like he might come in and allow Mike Evans to get back to where he was when Chris Godwin was really starting to turn up, start of the 2020s, where it's like, I can gracefully age into not having to have 1,000 yards a season. I can do my thing, be a complimentary piece.
Oh, no, he going to get that.
My bad, 1,001. But I don't have the pressure of, like, offense flows through me. Here comes the guy. I have one tweet here that I thought was great that should be the big takeaway from Spawnor. The Bucks have Egbuka because they didn't care about drafting for fit. Correct. Fuck drafting for fit when there's somebody as talented as that there.
Yeah.
It immediately became a fit need because your receiving room fell apart. So pick the best players. Eventually, you'll need them.
People have said that. And the whole offseason, you guys have known this. I've been so frustrated because people are like, oh, yeah, like they got Mike Evans, they got Chris Godwin. Mike Evans is 32 and Chris Godwin just had to get his leg put in an air cast. They needed a receiver. Like they actually did need that. Yeah. And it was good fit. Like, I'm glad that they were able to get him. I don't think that this was like a best player available type of thing. They legitimately needed a receiver.
They have other young receivers though. They have Jalen McMillan and they have another one whose name is escaping me. So they had bodies and they just had other needs. I think was the thing where it was like they need a receiver, but like they don't need a first round receiver. Like people expected them to draft one, but like if they would have went 3rd round receiver and 1st round edge rusher, or 1st round cornerback, that would have made sense. So it was more just like priorities.
I saw through it.
When it comes to the first game, what do you think?
Winning games at it.
What is his ceiling as a receiver?
I have no clue. I don't know. High.
Damn, bro.
Megatron?
Megatron?
What the fuck are you talking about?
Just one of the greatest receivers.
No, the ceiling is not top 10 receiver of all time. But no, he's gonna be really good, and he was billed as the most ready now receiver in this class. He can come in. He's fundamental. He is polished. He will come in and be a good player right away. That's clearly going to be the case. Atlanta, do you have any? What's your overreaction for Atlanta? This is one of the games I watched the least of. It was like one of the ones in the quad box. I wasn't paying attention to.
If you were to watch the game, I think what would like jump out to you is how composed Michael Penix was for sure. Their one game was ass naturally because their O-line suffered injuries.
Oh, yeah, Bijan had 100 receiving yards and like 16 rushing yards.
Yeah, exactly. It just didn't make any sense at all. They couldn't get that going. Their defense again and their draft picks just didn't stand out at all. So that's pretty much the wrap, and that's a telltale story. Their defense continuously lets them down. That feels like the story for them over the last 20 years.
Yeah, okay. I'll go back and watch it. Something that I noticed that I took a note of it because and I'll see whenever the All-22 2 is out. But they still were like you remember at the start of last year, like they were just doing everything out of pistol because Kirk Cousins couldn't move. They were still doing that like a lot, and they were still doing a lot of like runs out of pistol. And I was like, like I wonder if that's gonna change or if they're still running like a Kirk Cousins type offense. Because even whenever Penix came in at the end of last year, they were still doing that. But I thought that was just more of like we're in week 15, like we're gonna run our offense. But that was still kind of the same thing. So I want to see if like the formation stuff has changed for them. But that was it.
Okay. Yeah, next part of lightning round: Arizona versus New Orleans.
Yo,
super lightning. Let's do it.
Olave, please. Stay healthy, man. Because it's just like if he can't be there, then I have no idea who Spencer Rattler is throwing to, and it just sucks because he keeps getting hurt. But Arizona, hey man, shout out to y'all, man.
Hey, shout out to Will Johnson, DPOY.
DPOY,
dude, he beat the shit out of him this route. It was crazy. Also, this is an overreaction because you thought this. Will Johnson looked fantastic, even outside of hit sticking the shit at Chris Olave. There was one play where Spencer Rattler, it was a long third down. He threw a fade to Shaheed. He threw a jump ball over Will Johnson, and I was like, you don't know who that man is yet, but I do. You do not want to throw a fade to Shaheed over Will Johnson. Will Johnson is that guy. He looked great in this first game. I was watching this game, locked in on him. Also locked in on the usage for the Saints offensive players. I'm glad to have drafted Olave in fantasy, despite the fact that he went to the medical tent 3 times in this game. Came back every time. He continued to get beat up, but they're running the ball through him. I think 3
times in one game is insane.
For different things too.
In week 1 is insane.
One was a chest, one was an ankle or something. It was 3 different things. He was getting beat the fuck up. I think the Saints offense has the weapons for Kellen Moore to get some shit off. I think the Saints offense will be decent as the season goes on. Saints defense I cannot speak for, but I do like what they're cooking offensively with Kellen Moore, and I think Rattler will be just good enough that like for fantasy purposes, if you want to roster these guys, it'll be good, and for overall, they won't be the worst team in the NFL, I don't think.
Yeah.
No, that's the Dolphins.
Sure, fair enough.
God damn, bro. What do you guys think about the Cardinals on the offensively? My biggest takeaway for them and Kyler Murray is that, okay, that line is obviously not that good. But then on top of that, too, the biggest, like, story about, like, what's been holding back Kyler Murray and his, like, such as a stardom is just how conservative that play style feels. And I guess that just continues to be true because there was, like, very little to no explosive plays last night.
Sorry. Fair. My biggest overreaction is Trey Benson this year, and this is going to be one of the elite running back duos. Trey Benson looked good.
Yeah.
He got about 40% of the carries. James Conner continued to dominate the goal line work, but they were serious about splitting the carries between those two and being co-starters. Trey Benson looks good. And if you have a run-first offense that now has 2 dominant running backs, that makes them special. I think this all collectively we've been pretty high on the Cardinals. They were my like sleeper nerd pick of like surprisingly really good team that wins their division and like carries forth. Yeah. I feel good about them on both sides of the ball.
Yeah.
Marvin Harrison caught a big touchdown. Anytime we get a Marvin Harrison sighting, it's like one step closer to process, one step closer to him being the prince who was promised. I need to go back and watch all 22 for that to see how he looked in terms of his just ability to win every possession. But he had a few big splash plays, which is good to see. The big thing for Marvin Harrison, though, is consistently is he winning, getting open every play, and is Kyler Murray seeing him in his progressions. Got to watch all 22 for that. Yeah. But overall, I'm encouraged by the first game for both these teams.
Facts.
I agree.
Good for them.
Last thing for the Saints is that congratulations. It doesn't look like you have the worst quarterback in that division.
Oh, that is my thing.
Yeah.
Immediately on the field, worst jerseys in the NFL.
Oh yeah,
they look trash on the field yesterday.
I don't remember if y'all defended him or not, but when it came out,
I hated him.
I was like, y'all don't realize these are horrendous jerseys. And people in the comments were like, no, they're kind of cool. They're gold. They look like sand. They are horrible.
Yeah, it was bad yesterday.
Those helmets, terrible too. I hate everything about it.
True.
Okay, Rams versus Texans. Honestly, I put this one in lightning round. This game was exactly what you thought it would be. The Texans' offensive line, not good.
Slugfest.
CJ Stroud under duress. You know why? Rams' defensive line, good. Very good. Byron Young was terrorizing CJ Stroud. It was a long night. Jared Verse didn't have a big splash game. Byron Young said, I got us. They dominated the line of scrimmage. Puka Nacua looked fantastic. One of the safest receivers in the NFL. He blew his fucking eyebrow open. It was bleeding. It was crazy. Came back in the game. I think him and Devontae look like everything we hoped they could be. They were both just, not every play, 2 dig routes. Both these guys get open every play. I'm going to hit one. That's what it felt like, and it worked. And man, CJ Stroud, I don't know if he once again has a chance with that offensive line.
Yeah, it's gonna be my season's work. I'm gonna get CJ Stroud out of Houston. I'm gonna do it. Like,
telling you finna drag him out of Houston.
Like,
I got some shit planned.
I have to save him because that offensive line damn sure is not doing it. I honestly like I feel very. I try to give the Texans as much credit as possible, and it's like the reason why I was like kind of bullish on the Texans was for the same reasons for the Broncos. Was like, you know that you have a good coach, you have one of the best defenses in the league, and then in the Texans case, you have a guy there at quarterback. So I wanted to believe in everything. The offensive line is that's one of the worst situations in the entire league, and so you can't do anything.
It's one of the most like frustrating too because you know the ceiling is there. You know you have like a wide receiver 1, and you have like someone who you believe is one of the better quarterbacks in the league in CJ Stroud, top 12, top 10, whatever you want to put him. He is like certainly one of those guys talent wise. But then like you walk away from the game and you see like nothing was to be had. Your wide receiver 1 and Nico Collins got one reception in like after 50 minutes of football, just in total like four targets. Like what are we talking about right now?
They had no time to develop anything downfield. They had no deep offense. It was straight dink and dunk, straight attacking the sidelines. It was like a jarring lack of attack in the middle of the field from CJ Stroud, who he's like a really good attack in the middle of the field. He's supposed to be that type of elite pocket presence. They just couldn't get it going there. No run game. Everything was to the boundaries. Everything was very, very safe. Throwing it one-on-one for these 6-yard outs and just ugly. Nico Collins, his whole thing is he is premier vertical threat. You don't got time to get vertical if you're constantly worried about your left guard being going to pick up a stunt, which they never did. I saw Byron Young run up the A-gap so many times off of basic stunts that they could not identify, that's a common week 1 issue for new offensive lines. So that'll get better. But sometimes it doesn't. And sometimes you're the Bears last year where stunts kill you every single time because your offensive linemen do not have the collective IQ and abilities to deal with it.
It's frustrating, and as like I'm frustrated. But CJ, I'm on the way. Yeah, I'm on the way.
This game it was supposed to be exciting. It was not. It was pretty slow, and it was just exact what you think it would be. One team dominated the line of scrimmage and not won them the game in the end.
Yeah.
Next one. Oh, this game, Bengals versus Browns.
Dookie contest.
I just think so. Overreaction. I can't overreact to the Bengals because they just continue to tell us they are who we thought they are. They refuse to start a season strong. Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase played in every preseason game. The most preseason they played in years. And they still start off on bullshit. This offense was gross. It's the same. I'm not even going to get up here and be like, I'm worried. Because I'm not. Every year they start off telling us we should be worried. And then by October starts, bombs away, best offense in the league. I'm like, when does it end? When do you... is there something intrinsic in Joe Burrow? Is something intrinsic in Zach Taylor that they just cannot start a season well?
Apparently that's the truth for Joe Burrow.
It's not his fault. It's not his fault.
His pocket presence was pretty god awful yesterday. It was his fault.
Notoriously, I did research on it because there was a lot of talk about, oh my god, another slow week 1, and I went back throughout his career. I'm like, yo, he just doesn't perform.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. At all. Every year, this is the story with him.
Zach Taylor. If there was ever a moment where a coach can be relieved of his duties after a win.
After a win.
This would be it. Because in the offseason, I was like, if they come out and they start slow and they lose games, which they tried to do, the Browns are just the Browns, and they're going to lose that. And they are another candidate in kickers should not have rights. But like they should have won that game. The Browns defense was awesome in the second half, and the Bengals refused to be explosive or to be any of the things that they told us that they were going to do. And they still, the Bengals still won the game.
The Browns held the Bengals to 7 yards in the second half. It's the fewest yards in the second half by a winning team in the last 25 years. Cleveland outgained Cincinnati 327-41 and doubled up on first downs in a 1-point loss.
Dude, their O-line was complete dog shit, along with, of course, like Joe Burrow not doing his superpower thing or whatever, be able to read certain shit, you have zero chance for success. And this is what's supposed to keep you guys alive, barely swimming.
There's a lot of plays where Joe Burrow played a part in the pressure. It wasn't just offensive line. Like, well, part of the slow start, he like starts every year with like being like rusty. Like he has amnesia of how to operate a pocket and just takes bad sacks, and like that criticism comes out. By the time the season ends, he's like in a groove and he's moving and making quick decisions. But these first few weeks, it's like he takes a second to acclimate to how fast everything moves, and his pocket presence looks garbage.
Yeah.
Like that is a like we've seen that weakness before with Joe Burrow in certain seasons, but I really do think that's probably the biggest like early season issue that will wrinkle out over time.
I don't want to go back and watch this, but I have to go back and watch this.
Yeah, go back and watch it. It wasn't fun.
I
watched most of the first half. I didn't see most of the second half. I forgot what I went to after that. But yeah, watch the first half. It was terrible.
Do you have anything positive to say about the Browns?
Yeah. The Browns won't be the worst team in the NFL. Overreaction is they're competent. Which I already did.
I never thought that they were going to be the worst.
Me neither. But obviously they're the Browns, so that world is always there. But I think Harold Fannin, they used him in a lot of creative ways. That man ran the ball. He ran from like all over. He was an inline tight end, slot receiver, got a handoff. Like they used him as the true weapon he is, like as like another Tyler Warren, like the way you used him in college. That's gonna be interesting. I picked him up in the House Call Podcast Fantasy League that we have with the other podcasters. Picked him up morning of. Shout out him. He's gonna start for me next week. I'm gonna ride the hot wave there. But yeah, with Joe Flacco and Kevin Stefanski, they have a high floor-ish for one of the worst teams in the NFL. They're competent. They can beat a team. Defensively, they played well. Myles Garrett is Myles Garrett, and everybody's around them healthy. They have Denzel Ward. They have Mason Graham. There were some plays in the first half where Chase Brown was having his way as a rusher. It looked like they had no rushing defense. Yeah. And you realize they're starting a rookie linebacker, and JOK isn't there. The running defense in the second level will be bad for the Browns. But outside of that, they're a competent team.
Yeah. That'll be good.
Okay, next one, the lightning round.
Yeah. in the lightning round.
Yeah.
Here's one game I did not watch at all. I didn't get to see a second of this one. Washington versus the Giants.
Okay. I was actually keyed in on this game a lot.
Tell me the takeaway. Tell me the biggest overreaction for the Giants.
Jackson Dart might start next week.
Yeah.
And that's not even an overreaction. Like Dabo was in the press conference and he was talking about how he wasn't very committal to the idea of Russ starting. Honestly, like Russ wasn't amazing. It wasn't his fault.
Exactly.
Their offensive line was awful. They were missing their best offensive lineman in Andrew Thomas. Malik Neighbors still had some catches where you're like, oh my goodness, like this is going to be disgusting. For them, I think it's like their line without Thomas is bad. Their D-line, their D-line was also good, but Washington and their offensive line did a pretty decent job of holding up, especially early on. I felt in terms of like not getting completely destroyed, because I feel like we've been talking about this D line. It's like, oh, they're just gonna fire off. They're just gonna fire off. Jaden had a lot of moments where he was able to really sit back and really dissect a lot of stuff. And Debo looked good, not only in screen games, but he was able to get stuff in the intermediate of the field. He had 7 catches yesterday, so he played well. Bill, shout out to you. Like he's running back one, or he's gonna be running back one because Eckler just is not a running back in that way.
Yeah,
but I think that for Washington, this is gonna be one of those years where they offensively they look much more competent. They look much more like a team that can control the pace of a game. And even if the numbers aren't crazy, come midseason, if Debo is like still healthy and he's doing all that, and Terry gets back into the fold, they're going to be nasty.
The score wouldn't say this game was like an insane blowout, but it genuinely felt like the Washington Commanders put up like 50 against these guys on both ends
of
the field.
That.
And the Giants just never stood a chance, bro. Andrew Thomas, they need him so badly. Irreplaceable.
Yeah, just wire-to-wire dominance.
Yeah. I will say, though, there was a point where the D-line did start to get going. Yo, man, it was scary.
Yeah.
And so, if Dart comes in and Dart provides a little bit like more mobility, a little bit more just juice to the offense, there's a world where like all the best case scenario that we were talking about with the Giants, it can get there, but I just don't think Russ is going to be. He's just not going to be the guy. I think their best case scenario comes with Dart instead of Russ.
Oh wait, I forgot. I did watch this game. I watched it this morning. I watched the condensed game. I completely forgot because it was so unmemorable.
Damn,
I watched the first 3 quarters this morning. Yeah. There was one play that you mentioned. Russ got seared into my brain. One play, they went out 5 wide. They emptied out the backfield and they tried to draw up a wide receiver screen where they throw it to the slot receiver and the outer 2 most receivers on the right side block for him.
Yeah.
common little bubble screen, right? And they rushed him. They blitzed him. The O-line got pushed back. Russ couldn't see over the offensive line to get out there. And he's not mobile enough anymore to like take a step and like find an angle. So he knelt down. He didn't like he sidearmed it.
Yeah.
But he like crouched and looked around and went and like threw it sidearm straight into the dirt. I was like, oh, that is an old man that cannot move.
He's cooked.
Also, we'll say he loves Wandale Robinson.
Oh,
so,
everyone does in that offense.
And so like, listen, he like loves him. He loves him.
Yeah, he can't throw. And he's always right there wide open.
Who's that? Who's their running back? Scatterbo?
Yo,
Scatterbo?
Strong. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
If him and Tommy DeVito was still if they were still on the team like that, wait, is DeVito on the
No, they cut him.
No,
yeah, they just cut him.
They did.
Yeah.
Because they had DeVito in a Progressive commercial. In a he's a professional backup.
Yeah, he just got cut.
Yeah.
Tough.
I forgot.
Okay.
Peace.
Yeah. Not the most interesting game. We'll see what goes on. I got to go back and we'll finish watching that one. 2 more left. That lightning round over. 2 to talk about. San Francisco versus Seattle. We got the first game of Sam Darnold in this offense with Clinton Kubiak, and we have CMC alive.
Mm-hmm.
In our bold predictions episode last week, I got to the 49ers of my team, and I was like, bold prediction, CMC, there's been no noise about him being injured. We always have noise about him being injured. All we got reports is that he's fully healthy. Offensive player of the year. Bold prediction. The day that came out, we got reports that he's hurt his calf and that he's injured. The day it came out, the day I said it's been a full training camp, no reports, I guess he's healthy. No longer healthy.
Yeah.
He ended up playing this game and got 30 touches. So I think he's pretty healthy for now.
Yeah.
They ran the ball through him. And I think whenever this game started and George Kittle was healthy, I think the 49ers offense looked pretty good. Overreaction is Ricky Pearsall is a star. That's the overreaction take. Because he looked good. He was a vertical presence running all over the field. Whenever like I said, when they had Kittle, they had CMC, and they had him on the field before Kittle got hurt and went out, offense was cooking. I felt very good about what they were doing on that side of the ball. When Kittle went out, they just had so little weapons. Second half was kind of a slog. I don't really blame them or take anything away from that. But Pearsall is going to be a weapon for this team.
I think, yeah, I feel really good, honestly, about having like the Niners as the best team in this division. And like the Pearsall stuff, I was like, it's cool because Jawan Jennings is like, he was out all off season all training camp with the calf injury, and then that Ayuk is out, and so he was gonna have to be a wide receiver 1 by necessity. And shout out to him because a lot of people do have to be wide receiver 1 by necessity, and they don't show up. He actually was, and the catch that he made on the sideline, great throw by a pretty good catch and run by Pearsall. That's good. I was very much improved or very happy with how the defense looked, and how like everything that they were saying in the preseason about how Robert Saleh has come in and he has done everything to get this defense back to where it needs to be. I was like, okay, yes, Robert Saleh is going to win assistant coach of the year because their defense looked good. Their offense, is going to look better with Shanahan and with Purdy, and as everybody gets back into form. They look like a team where in December and in the playoffs they're going to be firing. So the defense was the biggest takeaway for me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Overall, solid game. Purdy had some up and downs. In the second half, he was pressured left and right. The per next gen stats, he was pressured on 57.9% of his dropbacks today, the highest pressure rate he's faced in a single game of his career. I think that showed a lot in the second half.
Mm-hmm.
The Seahawks had an ability to win, in which they did not. It was a close game. Overreaction for the Seahawks. This offensive line is still a massive issue.
Yeah.
Their run blocking was not good.
That's not even an overreaction.
Yeah, that's just...
Yeah.
Honestly, it's not the game where they are who we thought they were. Okay, no, overreaction. JSN is fucking him.
Oh, that is very true.
I like JSN a lot.
Him.
When we were talking about our rankings and stuff, I was like, I like him a lot. Let me stop myself from being too biased. I need to see him come out and show us he can be an outside boundary wide receiver 1. My God, did he show it. He is the Seattle Seahawks offense. He accounted for 82% of the Seahawks receiving yards. He is everything they have going. Him and Sam Darnold have a great connection already. He was used all over the field. No issues whatsoever about him being a wide receiver 1. That is set in stone. He is good enough like we thought. Outside of that, not a lot of offensive weapons. Cooper Kupp, old. Run blocking, bad. Not too much explosiveness going on with the Seattle offense. I think Seattle Seahawks fans, I see on Twitter, are kind of panicking a little bit about the way the offensive looked. in large part because they were billed as being this run-first team
Mhm.
that was going to pound the rock, get under center, be traditional in that way. I think their under center running attack was garbage. They could not block gap schemes to save their life.
Mhm.
Every time they pulled a guard and the interior offensive line next to him has to kind of block down to make up for that, clear that gap before the gap can come around. Terrible. They did an awful job. Kenneth Walker got hit behind the line of scrimmage so many times. But when they spread out wide and ran from shotgun, I think they looked pretty solid. Zach Charbonnet got a lot going in those runs. But they like to use Kenneth Walker in the downhill gap stuff and Charbonnet in the inside zone and outside zone stuff. Big difference in their production for those reasons, I think. They cannot block gap schemes whatsoever right now.
Yeah, I guess my overreaction is like, oh, this is going to be the last place team in the division.
Damn.
I think that would just be my overreaction based on obviously like the Niners winning the game, the Cardinals and their progression, and then the Rams figuring out a way to win in the fashion that they did. And so I think for Seattle, like they looked offensively like a one-trick pony, and I think that like even the defense is great, but like if your offensive line cannot block, and it was part of the reason why I was kind of skeptical of them coming into the year, is like, are you going to get peak Sam Darnold in terms of like what you got last year? If you're not going to be able to get that with your offensive line, you're not going to be able to supplement that with any type of rushing attack. And if I know that, hey, we're like obviously Jason, he's going to get his right. He clearly proved that like he's ready to take that workload. The best defenses are going to be able to really to limit that. Like he's not going to go for 9 for 124 on everybody.
Yeah.
You think? He's on my fantasy team in Dynasty. I guarantee you he will. Every game, 124 yards.
Every game. $5. And so, but like there's that aspect of it. But I think that the floor for them might be, once again, another frustrating year for Seahawks fans, because every game for Seattle is they just play in the weirdest games of all time. And so I think that with their current construction, it's probably going to look like that again.
Yeah, I think Sam Darnold didn't play too bad. Some people were down on him. It's like the easy punching bag, whenever he played. I think overall he looked good. I watched the whole game again this morning. I felt good about his performance. I think he layered some good throws to JSN. Their connection is fantastic. He threw with touch and accuracy along the sidelines. Obviously, the game got sealed by him fumbling. Nick Bosa, good play. They sealed the game. I don't blame him for that. All their issues, I think, were the fact that they didn't have the support for Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold's not going to come out here and carry your team and, like I said, make up for the lack of weapons and throw people open and do all this stuff.
Yeah.
Nor should he be expected to. I think for the expectations of being Sam Darnold and being a average starter, which is what you want from him, I think he played perfectly well.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, he seems like he met up to expectations. I think when that initial move made between the Seahawks want to go ahead and send Gino over there to the Raiders, is like, oh shit, like the ceiling is so much less and all that, and it's not about Sam, it's about everything else around him necessarily that's like keeping this whole shit alive. Can you just like not take us? That's it.
Yeah, and I don't think he take them. And some people are upset that he didn't play well enough. And I get it. It wasn't a good offensive showing, but I think if you look past the surface level, it wasn't him. It was mostly the offensive line not being up to par.
Yeah.
And then, I guess it was both teams. We did both. Okay. The last game to talk about today, Jets versus Steelers. Overreaction to the Jets. Justin Fields. You might be the biggest prover of doubters wrong of this season if this keeps up. If we're just doing overreactions to first games, Justin Fields was thought to be one of the worst starters in the NFL. All of us up here, all of us, everybody else in the media, every fan out there, I won't even say just us, because everybody doubts Justin Fields. Nobody believes that he has the processing to be an NFL quarterback. He doesn't have the vision, the understanding of NFL defenses to consistently lead offenses in a way that a starting quarterback needs to. The Jets had the best offense in the NFL week 1 before the Sunday night game, which I'm sure the Ravens and Bills passed them up. But for EPA per play, they had the best offense in the NFL week 1.
I'm not going to lie. This was easily the greatest loss I've seen in my life for this team.
Fact. If you have never watched football before and you watched Justin Fields yesterday, you would say, oh, him and Lamar Jackson are the best mobile quarterbacks in the NFL, right? He was cooking. Now, the passing game was the passing game. It was as good as it can be with Garrett Wilson and nobody else around you. They're never going to be some crazy dynamic passing attack, but it was good enough. The opportunities they had, they took them. He delivered with good enough accuracy. I got to watch back to all 22 to see if he left anything on the table as a processor like he always does. I'm sure he did to some extent. He is still just Justin Fields, but he did enough as a passer, connected well with Russell Wilson. And man, I'm forgetting the name of their offensive coordinator. He's new because obviously new staff. He did such a good job weaponizing Justin Fields as a runner. Breece Hall looks revived. There was all this talk about him being part of a committee and him and Brandon Allen splitting carries because they don't believe in him and yada yada. Maybe I think that was true, but he shut it all down because he looks fantastic and looks like the young star he was thought to be again. And then Justin Fields ran so well, escaped the pocket insanely well. His poise and understanding of when to use his legs did look Lamar-esque at times. He was saving drives with his legs rushing around. Again, this is just overreacting to one game, so we're not going to talk about if you think it's sustainable or not. But for one game, Justin Fields looked the best he's ever looked.
Yeah, for one game, this team is going to be the second best team in the AFC East.
That's insane.
That's what I was alluding to earlier. Earlier, we were talking about the rankings, and I was like defending the Dolphins. That was in proxy of me doubting the Patriots. I was like, I doubt the Patriots will get enough wins to be second place in this division. So I'm like, the Dolphins are the safe team. They'll probably just be there by default.
Yeah.
From one game, it looks like the Jets will be the team that's second place by default, winning 8 games or whatever it is.
Good for them. Good for the Jets. I'm glad you guys can have your day, even in a loss.
Yeah.
Shout out to them. For the Steelers, Jalen Ramsey. Shout out to you. You came down, held it down, ended the game. Aaron Rodgers. Okay.
Still got it.
Right.
More than got it.
Another quarterback that proved people wrong week 1.
Yeah.
Both Rodgers and Justin Fields were thought to be dead in the water, put out behind the woodshed for different reasons, obviously. One's old, one's blind to people.
Yeah.
And both played really well in their own ways. And based on success rate, today was the Jets' best offensive performance since week 9 of the 2022 season.
Jesus Christ, man. They've been in despair that bad.
Moral victory, for sure. Like it is a good loss. If their offense can play this level every week, which you can't. This is unsustainable, but it's much higher than what we thought they could be. And if the truth is somewhere in the middle and they can consistently be really good and win with rushing, which was always their outlook, they would win by weaponizing Breece Hall, weaponizing Brandon Allen, and weaponizing Justin Fields as a rushing trio. If they can win with that and their defense can, Quinn Williams can get back to being a superstar and they can have Sauce Gardner and be locked down, this can be a team that wins games.
Yeah.
And if the passing attack can be as good as it was yesterday, which is more than good enough, this team will be sneaky.
Yeah, okay. Well, I can get to sneaky. Yeah, I'm not really thinking about like any type of sneaky playoff aspiration for them.
Listen,
for
steps,
them,
baby steps.
Yeah, but the baby steps it's the giant steps for them because you just want to see and want to feel good about any type of culture building, and especially after that man left your team in shambles.
Yeah,
you want Aaron Glenn to come in and it feel like, okay, we're actually a decent NFL team, and it felt like that yesterday.
And I hope Justin Fields is good. I hope that he can find this and that they can make him like a average starter there, because obviously we don't believe in Justin Fields. Like preseason, we weren't out here saying he's the guy for the Jets. Yeah, nobody the Jets barely believe that. They paid him $20 million a year. That market rate is like the lowest veteran starter in the NFL. So again, it's no exaggeration to say this. Nobody believes in you. What are you prepared to do about it?
Yeah.
And he came out, he did something about it. He played very well, had his strengths, and maximized them. It felt good to watch him succeed.
Yeah. Good for him.
I hope it continues. I don't know I don't know how much we'll see, if it will or not. I'm still not gonna flip around and be like, now this is gonna be great. Yeah. But I'm rooting for him.
Yeah.
Perfect place to be. It would be such a cool storyline if he was to remarkably turn around his career and help turn around that franchise and the where they were at over the last few years.
Yeah, it's been one of the worst eras of Jets basketball football in a long time.
That's the nicest way to put it.
Yes.
For the Steelers, this Aaron Rodgers offense was always going to be interesting because Arthur Smith is Arthur Smith. He is very creative to a fault. To a fault. He will drop under center and do some creative shit with motions, creative shit with handing the ball to weird people, creative stuff with tight ends, creative stuff with his running backs in a way that will frustrate fans that just want to see a little more average because they have the star running back and Bijan Robinson is a rookie who's not getting carries because they're handing it off to their fullback and an end around and all this creative bullshit. That is him. He wants to be under center and be magical. He sees himself as Sean McVay. Aaron Rodgers is the opposite. He wants to spread it out, play Aaron Rodgers' ball, and kind of has it very similarly distinctive in that it's to him his own style of play, but it's complete opposite of what Arthur Smith wants to do. We lean towards Arthur Smith football in this game. Aaron Rodgers looked pretty good delivering in this play action system.
I think if Rodgers is going to play like this, then everything that you thought about for the offseason, okay, we're cooking, right? We can actually not only get to the playoffs, but maybe win a playoff game because this is some of the best quarterbacking that they've had consistently over the last since Big Ben has left.
Yeah.
And so
A lot of big plays. Some of them were a little bit fluky. That last drive to win the game was hilarious. There was like a PI and then one catch where I forgot, I had Calvin Austin or somebody dropped it and then landed on the chest of another receiver that was on the ground. And then we're in field goal range now. We won the game. So like it was a little like silly the way they won the game in the end. Like it was a very like clutch drive that everyone's like, look at Rodgers, he still got it.
Yeah.
But you go back and watch it, you're like, this is the luckiest shit I've ever seen in my goddamn life.
I will say their season is obviously, in my mind, their ceiling is directly tied to Aaron Rodgers and what he's able to do on a consistent basis. But that leans back to their offensive line. It felt shaky, entirely too shaky for my liking. I don't know how consistent that'll be like able to ride out for the rest of the year.
Yeah, we'll see. I'm not over the moon about the Steelers offense just because it was such a weird day. The running game wasn't good. Jalen Warren and Kenneth Gainwell got all the carries. Caleb Johnson didn't play. And there was a lot of noise that it was going to take a while for Caleb Johnson to get going in this offense because of his lack of pass protection, and they don't trust him there because you have a fucking 40-year-old quarterback that needs that running back to pass protect or he'll die. So that's not surprising, but also Kenneth Gainwell and Jalen Warren aren't particularly impactful runners with subpar blocking. So at some point, they're going to need Caleb Johnson to be able to contribute and fill that Najee Harris role. So that'll be something to monitor over the weeks. Also, the wide receiver room is like, you can have games like this, but are you going to have consistent week by week production with Calvin Austin, DK Metcalf, Johnny Smith?
Let's see what Aaron Rodgers can cook up. Let's see. I don't know.
And defensively, it looked like they've never guarded a running quarterback before. It was pretty ugly.
Well, this is the problem that they've had they had it last year, and it's still the same problem this year. Like if you go back towards the end of last year when their defense started to fall apart, it's because they couldn't really stop the run. And then the times when they've really, really been exposed, especially in the playoffs, is because you're playing a running quarterback like Lamar. Yeah. And the Ravens have just feasted against them. And so it's not shocking that you get into a situation where if Justin Fields is playing at a Lamar Jackson level, that you have no idea how to guard any of it. And so that for the Steelers, like as good as Rodgers looked, if I'm a Steelers fan, that is the biggest point of worry, which is like, are we going to be able to stop the run at all, especially against these more quarterbacks? Because I'm going to have to play Mahomes, who can do stuff with his legs, Allen and Lamar, obviously. Now, Herbert is out here showing wheels. If I have to play him in the playoffs, it's going to get scary. Like, any matchup that you go up against, all of these quarterbacks are perfectly suited to attack one of your biggest weaknesses. And so long term, if they don't get that fixed, Rodgers, as great, as good as he played, whatever, that's not going to mean anything.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And that's a recap of all these games.
Well, we got one more game.
What did we miss?
Oh, you forgot.
Who did I forget?
The defending Super Bowl champions.
Oh, Thursday, the first game.
Yeah, come on now.
Wanted to go back to Friday, didn't want to go back to Thursday.
Yeah.
And guess what? We're going to make fun of them Cowboys today. Don't think I've been sitting all weekend, just smiling. Smiling because they ended up, they lost. And listen, offensively, hey man, Dak Prescott, shout out to you, sir. But also,
dude, he looked like a fucking dog.
But also, no shout out to you because you spit at my guy first, and that's why you got spit on. I don't. You saw the video.
Spitgate.
You're really thinking that's a spit that deserved getting spit on, that was worthy of even going into the air as a factor?
I will say this. Personally,
yeah.
If somebody spits on you, murder is now on the table. I understand it. I will. So I don't condone what Jalen Carter did, but I do understand because spitting is ridiculous.
You don't gotta understand. He didn't spit at Jalen Carter. He spit on the ground, and Jalen Carter's dumbass is walking towards him for no reason. Get the fuck on your side of the field.
I will say he spit on him. He spit towards him, and then he winked at him. He's like, and it's like, bro, what are you?
Yeah, because he walked up there and was like jabbering, and he honestly he explained it, and I completely believe him. He explained it with like it made total sense when Dak talked about it. He said he was talking to his offensive lineman, and he had a mouthful, and he had to spit, and he spit, and then he's walking through talking, and then Jalen Carter said, "Did you spit at me?" And he said, "Why would I spit at you?" And started laughing and smiling because he was like, "What the fuck are you talking about? I'm an adult. Why would I have done that? I'm obviously spitting because I'm a spitter. That's what I do. I spit on the ground. I'm a football player."
No, genuinely, he spit and then he immediately looked up and winked at him.
Because Jalen Carter was like, "Did you spit at me?" And then he was like,
and then he winked at him and smiled at him as well. So there's like he's trying to incite him intentionally.
As long as my guy is not getting suspended for week 2 against the Chiefs, I'm okay because damn it, they needed him. They needed him. The Eagles D line, it did not get going so much to the point of, and this is what I was saying earlier. My GM sees a problem, goes out, tries to fix the problem. The Eagles have signed Zadarius Smith, and they said, I don't care. We just need bodies. We need people who can potentially rush the passer, because if Jalen Carter is going to be there, like Nolan Smith, everybody had moments or whatever, but it wasn't a consistent pass rush. And whenever you've seen the Eagles be very good on the D line, because you have waves of D linemen that you can just bring in and bring in. So you go out, you do that. Today, Mike Hilton, he's coming in for a workout for the cornerback position. Because of that, you think, okay, we're gonna move DeJean outside to have him be the outside corner, because Mike Hilton is mainly like a slot corner. And whatever you have to do to get Adoree Jackson off the field, I'm okay with.
Dude, he got fried. Of course, like, if any team is gonna fry him, it's gonna be this team. But to see how fried he got, like, was genuinely like despicable, and that easily could have lost him the game if, of course, CD had his things where he just like had bricks for hands or whatever, and then George Pickens was just doing cardio the entire time and really didn't do anything.
No, he didn't do cardio.
Much.
He got put in jail on Guantanamo Island. He got locked up by Quinion Mitchell.
But it's like
it's a base.
Even if you are getting locked up to that degree, I watched some other footage a couple of days after that game. He wasn't doing no type of like blocking or any real effort to.
He tried that one time and he got a flag on it.
Yeah, exactly. He was genuinely a bastard on the field. Like, he just was like a diva. I'm like, and I see the narratives happening. I see it, and I understand Steelers fans now.
You will see better games from George Pickens. So I'm very high on in fantasy this year. It didn't go well. CD, they lost a game because he dropped 3 passes, one key pass that lost them the game. The game was over because he didn't hit it. So unfortunate. That will get better. You mentioned Dak in the beginning that played really well. This was the ultimate not his fault game.
Hell yeah.
The production in the end wasn't great for the Cowboys offense. I was so encouraged by what we saw from that offense going forward. This team is going to air the ball out. They're going to move. Their offense looks smooth. It looks modern. It looks good.
Hell yeah.
The running game was pretty good. The offensive line was pushing people around. Javonte Williams had a huge game. I don't think Javonte Williams made a single person miss in that game, but he still had a good rushing game because the blocking was superb. I think the offensive line will still be iffy against better defensive lines that have their star in the middle, but also most defensive lines don't have a Jalen Carter. So maybe more often than not, we will see good run blocking. Pass blocking, we will see. There were some times where Booker looked like a rookie guard, got killed by some stunts, as is per usual with young guards. That's normal. But overall, this Cowboys team will be able to score on people, I think. And overall, they will stop exactly nobody on defense like we expected. They couldn't do anything. People were talking about Jalen Hurts not having a great game, which he didn't in terms of like his passing. But it was mostly because they just said, we're only going to rush 4, Cowboys defense that is. We're going to put 7 guys in coverage, bracket you over top. We're going to put a lot of attention on A.J. Brown. You're not getting anything easy with him. And you're going to have to nick and dunk us, or you're going to have to rush. And that's what Jalen Hurts did.
That's what he thrives at.
He took his little spot routes. He ran for 6 yards at a time and just took all the easy stuff, and that's all that was needed.
Yeah, I think Hurts played as great of a game in terms of like executing a game plan and taking what was given to you. I was very happy. And yeah, I left the game like.
To be fair though, he still can't throw. He's still a bum that can't make any reads.
All right, brother.
There was no juice in the passing offense.
How many yards did or how many catches did what's his name? Swole Batman get? Soul Batman.
AJ Brown.
Yeah, AJ Brown.
No, he had a catch.
Oh, he got one.
Oh, one
to seal the game. Yeah.
Oh, let's go. AJ Brown got one. I forgot.
To seal the game.
Yeah, no, I'm kidding. But I do wonder if obviously the Eagles won as expected. The Jalen Carter thing is annoying that it made it closer than it needed to be.
Yeah.
The concerns we have with him though, where we talked about, I think your bold prediction was the Eagles will have a disappointing season, and then I was like, people are gonna yell at you. I get it. There is things to point to. I do think all those things after this game could be pointed to as still being concerning when they play better teams. Obviously, the quarterback 2 stuff. The edge rushing group wasn't great. They bled a lot of talent there. That's been talked about. I think they didn't apply a lot of pressure. Their secondary isn't good. It can get picked on. That's a problem. And offensively, I mentioned it at the start of the offseason, I think episode 1, and we never talked about it again. Losing Kellen Moore might suck. maybe the lack of passing attack was the Cowboys forcing them to beat them down low and taking what they can give them. Part of that is true. But also, they didn't invent cover 2, and the Cowboys DBs aren't that great anyways. They really had no juice as a passing attack, and that might be an issue.
So, We will see, because I do feel 20 the shades of 23 were bubbling up.
Yeah,
I was starting to get upset, but also early on in the year last year, the offense wasn't crazy, and you saw more and more of Kellen Moore's offense come as the season progressed.
For sure.
And so it was like a rollout of everything. So maybe this is just how they want to operate. For I don't know, everybody. I was getting so many mentions of everybody like, this your boy AJ Brown, he's not good.
Yeah.
And I was like, first of all, it quite literally was
Closer to 1 than he is to 4.
That was crazy. That was crazy.
All right, relax. Anyways,
No, don't relax.
it was quite literally his worst game as a professional, and in a time where he's played his in a game where he's played the entire game.
Yeah.
His worst game as an Eagle. So it's like, all right, we're gonna look at the absolute like bottom lowest or whatever and like try to make an assumption. This is not that. But I do think that offensively, they're gonna be fine. Everything is gonna be fine. I think two things that you guys said. One, the Kellen Moore thing. Yes, I do think that like it is gonna impact it a little bit, but we'll see. What you said in terms of like they'll take a step back, I don't think it's because of defense. Landon Dickerson got hurt in the preseason and then got rolled up in this game, and so he missed time. And so you had a new left guard. You're playing a new right guard because Becton is in LA. So there is going to be some time where this new offensive line is going to have to progress a little bit. And the positive thing was, at least early on, first half, touchdown. You were still able to produce points. And Jalen and his scrambling and his running looked as quick and as spry as he has in like 2 years.
Yeah, he ran really well.
And so if he's doing that, it's fine. It's whatever.
Yeah. I want to see a little bit more from the passing game. The Cowboys ran essentially no man coverage this whole game. They gave them no opportunities to have one-on-one balls, which is, the bread and butter last year. They forced you into man coverage so you can stop the run, come up and play loaded boxes, and then they throw it deep to their 2 wide receivers, get you going. They just didn't do that at all. So they had no opportunities to exploit easy mismatches with AJ Brown, which is Jalen Hurts' bread and butter. He can, again, not to get into Jalen Hurts sucks talk, but like he's limited as a processor, but he will be able to take advantage of those mismatches and get the ball where it needs to be consistently. And yeah, we didn't see those opportunities. So I think it's removing the floor that makes Jalen Hurts so good. When he has that passing floor in the right scheme with a great run game, he can kill you with his legs, can kill you with not making big mistakes, but not necessarily making big impact plays as a passer. He's going to take what's there and then do just enough and then make stuff with the legs, with the decision making that gives him the ceiling. If you take away some of that floor stuff, that's when shades of 2023 come out.
Yes, but also I also think like just this team is specifically equipped and they low-key just want to just do things as simple as possible.
Very true.
Like if there's ever a team that's like, okay, you're just gonna play soft, we want that. We want to just we want to just run the ball and everything is gonna be fine. I think with that, like this team, and where I think Kellen Moore did the best job is that throughout the entire like Hurts and really like Sirianni tenure, this offense is not a big let's scheme it up type of thing. It's not a McVay, it's not a Shanahan, it's not a LaFleur type of thing. It very much is like, hey man, go do your job. You go win. And so whenever you get into situations like, or you're building stuff off of that, we're very okay just saying, okay, we're just going to win running the ball and getting 4 or 5 yards. And so like there's that. So I think like, yes, I would like to see more of that, but I also think that is like the fabric of how they want to play offense.
I mean, that's how they have to play with Hurts. Like if we get into it, like he's a very specific player with specific limitations and specific strengths. Mm-hmm. You have to keep it simple in that way. Like I think we mentioned it early in the offseason, like losing Kellen Moore, the other guy that comes in will probably do similar stuff because you have to do specific things with Jalen Hurts. Like he is a square peg in square hole type of quarterback.
Yeah.
Type.
Yeah, which I mean, it's just who he is, right? He's a specific type of player that doesn't fit into the molds of a lot of other quarterbacks that are really good. But when you give him that situation, he's really good at those things. So it's not an insult, but they need to have the ample running game and the ample forcing defenses into one-on-one opportunities to take advantage.
And I do think that a couple other teams eventually especially teams that don't have two good wide receivers the way that Dallas does.
Mhm.
Other teams are going to have to be more aggressive.
Yeah.
And so because Dallas was
Defensively?
yes, because Dallas was okay because they were also just moving the ball up and down.
Yeah.
And so if you only have one wide receiver, and so you can say, okay, Quinyon, go handle that, or we, shade it, whatever, you could take that guy out. Now, once you fall down 7 points, 8 points, whatever it is, now you have to try and, okay, well, I can't just let Saquon run for 5. I can't let Hurts scramble and do all this stuff. So then everything else opens up outside of that.
All right. That is all the games we got to talk about.
Yeah.
It's time for part 2 of this episode.
But we are going back to back. So
next thing we're going to do, let's have a little brief TikTok time. What we're going to do is I want to name every single NFL team that lost in week 1. And I want you guys to tell me from 1 to 10, how much should they be panicking?
Okay.
What is the panic meter for these week 1 losers?
10 is obviously all out panic.
Yeah, 10 is like they're cooked. 1 is like, they'll be all right. Completely no concern. Yawn. First off, the Kansas City Chiefs.
Like a
3,
4? I think like a 4.
Yeah, pretty low, but not 0.
You really can't get above a 7 if you have Mahomes and Reed. But
You can't get above a 5 to me if you have Mahomes.
Now, if you have Mahomes, you could take out half of that, which means that we're doing us on a 1 to 5 scale.
Yeah.
4. Like things are scary. That defense looks super, super shaky. Xavier Worthy dislocated his shoulder. I have no idea how long he's going to be out.
Yeah.
Rasheed Rice is still out. Travis Kelce's old. Like, I have so many questions for them.
Yeah, the defense I think is a real issue in terms of the edge rush talent and the cornerback talent. We'll see where that goes. But to me, it's like a 5 just because we're doing this again. The receivers are dead again. Multiple years in a row, I got to deal with no receivers. Tyquan Thornton's down there somewhere. Save me offense. That sucks.
And we've seen the story again, and we know where it leads them to.
Super
Maybe
Bowl.
a Super Bowl.
Yeah, end of the day, really it's a 1. It's
Yeah.
annoying for Mahomes, but they'll be fine.
Yeah.
How long until they call up Kadarius Toney again?
Oh, God. They're going to be calling him Tyreek Hill again. That's who they're going to call. Tyreek Hill's coming back to town. Dallas Cowboys.
0.
Yeah, 0.
Like,
Whoa.
They lost to the Eagles. I mean,
Worried about what?
Yeah, you're supposed to lose to the Eagles.
yeah, they're going to be a mid-team.
Yeah, you were.
Yeah, oh my God.
And
Yeah.
you fulfilled the prophecy, buddy.
They really are who we thought they were. They're not going to be able to do anything seriously post Micah Parsons trade. The defense isn't going to be good enough. But I think we saw enough that the offense will get better when CeeDee Lamb isn't having the worst drop game of his prime, when George Pickens isn't getting locked up by Mitchell. I think that'll get better. Their offense will be fine.
Yeah, he did get locked up. He did have the worst game of his career. We love it. No, but
Mind you still had a better game than AJ Brown, but whatever.
Hell yeah. You know, man, Dak Prescott.
what? Tell
God
me,
damn.
what would you rather have one catch, or would you rather be the laughing stock of the league because you dropped 3 passes?
All right, here's this stupid ass.
to win the game.
This stupid ass. Would you rather
Dumber,
have 5
dumber.
productive passing yards or 100 empty stat passing
rather
yards?
win.
Which one would you rather have 3 drops, each of which could have won the game? And now just for the next week, it's like, yeah, bro, you dropped the ball.
I'd rather be CeeDee Lamb and
he's
have
unironically
opportunities than be AJ Brown
They
and
had to
just be
post a
forced to
video.
read all game.
They had to post a video of CeeDee Lamb getting to the facility early, working on the jug machine. Yeah, you better be working, buddy. You better be
He's
working on the hands.
unironically doing the fucking Twitter meme by Eagles fans.
Yeah, go ahead. Keep dropping passes.
5
buddy.
productive receiving yards or 100 empty stats.
Keep dropping passes. Go ahead. I'll be worry about that. Worry about your hands.
The Carolina Panthers.
Oh, like
12 breaks this
20,
breaks the
12,
score, bro.
100, whatever it is. I'm worried. I'm terrified.
Every time I see Bryce Young look this way and play at the level of the worst quarterback in the NFL, I just get PTSD. I'm like, oh my God, were those 9 games fake? Is he a bust? No. Is Ted McMillan not going to get any receiving yards? No. And yeah, there's no reason to be happy right now.
Game 1 of the season, and it's already over. I've never seen it like this before.
Yeah, there's plenty of time for him to bounce back, but when you specifically have the track record of playing with this type of lowlights, I'm kind of scared.
Yeah.
8.
He is putting together a top 10 low light package.
When you throw the ball at the back of the end zone on 4th and 1 because you're scared, I'm 10. I'm 10 out of 10. I'm worried. I can't lie. I'm super worried.
Bryce, you got to get this together. I want to root for you so bad. Please. Please.
The New York Jets.
The New York Jets,
Was
0. How could you be worried about?
What's there to be worried?
This is the best loss of all time. They had their best offensive game since 2022. Justin Fields is shocking all of us in terms of expectations through one game. No reason to be worried. This is the best moral victory you could have.
Yeah, I'm getting top, 12 12 quarterback production, $20 million a year. Oh yeah, we got a value contract. We got good coaching.
Yeah.
Good vibes now. I'm not worried at all.
Bro. They got no worries, no real expectations. They're just riding high with what their quarterback's able to get them.
Yep. Brees Hall is healthy in a good system. He looks once again like a young star running back. Last year's reputation took a dive. We ranked him in B tier of our running back tier list, and people were like, "What are they talking about? Brees Hall sucks." Yeah. I'm like, no, he's good. He just was in a terrible offense last year, and he's showing he's good. 0 out of 10 panic for the Jets.
Looked very spry.
Very spry. The Baltimore Ravens.
Listen, low-key, like 7.
What?
8. It's hard. Why does this keep happening to us? Why does this keep happening? You have one fault, and that is you cannot win. You find ways to lose. You can look.
It's creative ways too,
and that's what I'm saying.
Why is a broken clock right every single time for you?
3 times, 4 times a day. You look at this game and you say, Lamar, amazing game. Derrick Henry almost ran for 200 yards, and we lost.
No victories.
Why?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, first half, I thought this team is definitely winning the Super Bowl. I felt good about that prediction. Second half, I was like, damn,
No, you still felt that in the second half.
Yeah.
Last 5 minutes.
Fourth quarter, I said, damn, I don't know anything.
Honestly, if I was a Ravens fan, I'd rather you get blown out and people just not be ready than to lose in the same exact fashion, following the same exact script, being the same meme that everyone posts on Twitter when it comes to like the fourth quarter leads blown and all that.
I would say 0 out of 10 panic. I can't panic if I still have the best roster in the NFL. But 10 out of 10 looming despair around the corner in the closet locked away that I know will open the door.
No, you should be worried because everybody likes to point out this is the best team over the last 5 years to never win a Super Bowl. What if you just never win it? What if it just never happens because you keep blowing games like this?
What if you are the 90s Utah Jazz?
You should be worried about that.
Yep. Okay. The Detroit Lions.
8.
This is one where there's reason to panic. There's question marks about the coordinators, question mark about the offensive line, question mark about is Jared Goff a Ben Johnson merchant? Every single question was answered in the worst way possible for you in week 1. They could bounce back, but in terms of 1 game sample size, lots of questions that don't look like they're going well.
Lions fans have convinced themselves over these last 2 years that like, we're a Super Bowl contender. You might not win your division, buddy. It could get spooky quickly. The Packers are here.
Windows are like this. And listen, elite play callers, their value is like this. Yes. Sometimes losing one is a big deal.
Don't let JJ McCarthy get high. Also, you lost Ben Johnson, and he went in the division because he wanted to beat you 2 times a year.
Oh, if you lose him and Jared Goff looks regular, and then he changes Caleb Williams' broadcast life in the same year, oh my God, that's pain. That's panic alone. That's a 20 out of 10 panic.
You should be very worried if you're a Lions fan.
If you facilitate the growth of a coach that fixes the Bears for the first time in 60 years, 20 out of 10 panic.
He fixed the Lions. He could do it again.
Man, that's gut wrenching, genuinely.
Dan Campbell. Okay. Next up, who do we have next? I'm blanking on who lost games. Okay. The Tennessee Titans.
The Tennessee Titans.
Like a 2?
2.
Yeah.
1. Like
I just don't have super high expectations. I'm not one of those guys that's like, they're gonna make the playoffs. Let them take their time. They don't have weapons. They have a coach that we have question marks about. They are who we thought they were.
And on top of that, too, they face potentially the best defense in the NFL, and the best defense in the NFL did exactly what they should do against a rookie quarterback and an offensive line.
Nothing to take away, really. Nothing to panic about. If you thought they'd be good, they still might be. It's a tough first stretch. If you thought the team would take time, you're goddamn right they will.
They just can't be dropping passes like that.
Yeah, I'm gonna say 0 because honestly, you could win 0 games if Cam Ward looks good this year. You are happy, and guess what? He looked good yesterday.
Yeah. Okay. We did that one. We did that one. Seattle Seahawks.
Ooh. Maybe like a 3 out of 10.
They did a lot well. JSN showed he's a star. Their defense, great. Defensive line talent, clicking. I don't think you should feel bad about the Sam Darnold performance. It wasn't like he didn't light the fucking world up and you're like, I told you he's a superstar. But he was fine. The 49ers are a better team. You do have question marks, though, if the run blocking is going to be good enough. You have question marks if the secondary receivers are going to be good enough. I'll go 5 out of 10.
Yeah, I guess like the defense still did look good, though.
Yeah, of course. It was always going to look good.
That's what I'm saying. And so knowing that like in the early part of the year, knowing that your strength can be a strength, I'm a little bit kind of more relaxed. So I think I will go 3 out of 10. But they also didn't have high expectations. People were saying that they were going to finish last in the division. So they're really playing with house money.
Exactly. If you had hope of them being sneaky into the wild card race, you could still feel that way.
Yeah.
That's not dead or anything. Houston Texans.
10.
13.
The offensive line is abysmal. I keep saying, can you win a deep playoff run with a bottom 10 offensive line? I think bottom 10 might have been gracious. Can you win a playoff game with the worst offensive line in the AFC is the new question.
They have
In the AFC and the NFL.
Yeah. What I noticed is that, bro, they got one of the 32 offensive lines in the NFL.
They have one of the interior offensive line groups.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and like Nico Collins couldn't get going. It's no surprise when you can't develop anything downfield because Byron Young is screaming down your throat every single play.
You have an elite receiver, can't get him going. You have an elite quarterback, can't get him going. You have running backs, can't get him going though. But like
technically,
that's what I'm saying. No adjectives, just running backs. I need to see something that will let me believe that this year is going to be different than the mess that last year was when it was ruined by guess what? Bad offensive line play. It's looking like everything is the same.
Yeah, I'm definitely giving them time. I'm not like 100% panicked because anytime it's week one of a new offensive coordinator, you would need to at least give them 2 weeks before you start to make any type of determinations about their strengths and weaknesses. But combine a new coordinator with a bad line that looks as bad as you thought it would, I'm not very hopeful.
I'm scared.
I'm pretty scared. Cleveland Browns.
0.
Honestly,
No, I mean you got it completely backwards. 10. If you're a Cleveland Browns fan, your whole life is panic meter. You've never woken up any morning without your panic meter on 10.
Panic for what though? You panic if
Living.
you're scared about something. Living for what? What's going on in Cleveland, man?
The mere existence of being a Browns fan is means to panic.
Interesting.
maybe I'll go like an 8 because Joe Flacco showed that with that defense,
Honestly,
they could be competent, they could be kind of frisky, and that's just delaying when my boy Shador is getting in the game.
I have zero.
I want to see
panic.
Shador next week.
You're gonna see Dylan Gabriel and you're gonna like it.
Hell, okay, that just gives you another opportunity to get through the next quarterback. The more
I'm saying.
losses, the less panic that you have.
Exactly.
It's inverse.
If we're gonna lose, at least let me lose with the storylines, with the pizzazz.
Exactly.
The New York Giants.
Oh, maybe like similar to the Cleveland Browns.
0.
0 probably as well. You are like
Because
noticing. You know this is an experiment in general.
and I'm going 0 because yesterday's performance guaranteed me I'm a C Jackson Dart this year.
Exactly.
We spent a first round pick on a quarterback. I want to see him play that season. The way that they looked yesterday, I know. I'm gonna see the Dart man.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then I gotta say it. The Dolphins.
100. 100. This is the worst team in the NFL in week 1. This is a team that looked like their vibes were bad, looked like the blocking was bad, looked like the uniforms was bad, looked like their equipment managers were bad. I have no idea what they did over the last week. They were just giving each other high fives for the whole week.
Every
game
single
plan.
Dolphins fan needs to be panicking to the point to where they need to rile up, gather up, and approach that front office physically. Be at that stadium, find out where their headquarters are, and demand answers, moves immediately.
If Tua throws one more pick, they got to physically remove him from office like a corrupt politician in South America. they gotta drag him out of his home.
Yes, exactly. Hop out to the stands, get on the field, and do it yourself. What are they going to do about it? It's a numbers game. There's more you.
There is more of that.
Yeah.
September 8th is going to be a day that lives in infamy in Miami.
We will that field.
There would be an insurrection.
Hell yes.
At Dolphins headquarters.
They don't want to make the right moves. Fuck it, bro. I'll march with y'all.
We make the moves ourselves. Power to the people, comrade.
Yep. I'm tearing everything
Viva
down.
la revolution. The proletariat Dolphins fans will live to fight another day.
Yep.
But no, I mean, it's got to be 100. Like at this point, it feels like your coach is on fast track to being fired. It feels like your star receiver needs to be traded yesterday. It feels like Tua, one too many injuries, shell shocked, isn't necessarily going to be someone you can rely upon to be the foundation of your team. You don't feel good about anything on this roster. Shout out to defensive line depth. It will get good. It wasn't good when Daniel Jones was dicing it up.
Yeah. Daniel Jones dicing it.
Daniel Jones dicing it up.
He said, Daniel Jones.
That's crazy, bro.
Nothing about it was encouraging yesterday. Like in the sense of reacting to week 1 and how much you should panic, you cannot have a greater panic meter than this team.
He was throwing picks to defensive linemen.
Oh my God. Latu got a pick. Latu doesn't even think he can get a pick. Latu doesn't wake up in the morning and think I'm going to get a pick today.
He won the lottery yesterday.
It was the best day of his life. Latu's never dreamed of an NFL interception. New Orleans.
0 again? For real?
No, I go 7.
Why?
I go 7 because what's the rule? If you're gonna suck, at least look cool doing it. They look trash.
Oh, those
yesterday in
tan
them
jerseys were
jerseys.
terrible.
They look bad.
That is
At least let us have the regular New Orleans Saints swag with the black and gold jerseys. With
Those jerseys, the color's so ugly, man. They look like a latex condom. That shit is so bad. The color's so bad. These bearskin jerseys. They're the worst jerseys I've ever seen. You can't even call it.
You get fucked all night. Damn. Literally.
You can't even call it a paper bag. It's worse. It's uglier than a paper bag.
Paper bag.
It's so bad.
Y'all boys are nasty, man.
I hate those jerseys.
Oh man.
Oh my god! You open his wormhole, man. You know, let's stop talking about that. Oh man, those jerseys are
I wasn't
terrible.
talking about that.
Well, who do I have love? Who did I miss?
The Falcons, I think, lost.
Oh, Falcons.
And then
The Atlanta
Seahawks.
Falcons.
What? 5, I guess.
5 because it's the same old story.
Yeah, they're like the Browns, where they're always in just panic, despair.
Yeah.
Like, is this gonna be our life for the next 6 months? Like, they're kind of just every year you start at a 5.
Yeah.
So it's not a good existence being a Falcons fan. I don't know. I mean, at least week 1 came and Penix didn't look horrible. He didn't look great, but he didn't look terrible by any means. So it's better than like a Bryce Young situation where your young quarterback that you're kind of tied to comes out and shit the bed.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't shit the bed. I think you could tell he's going to love throwing the ball to Drake London. That should be a connection that develops as time goes on. He was force feeding him the ball. Outside of that, it was just a Falcons game. They lost to the better team in a way you'd expect.
Yeah, exactly. Penix showed real, actual potential. I think he had a better game than just like having. I think it was just he was better than OK. Showed like he has the ability to be super poised and scramble when needed and all that. Just that really is not like a headline of his game, and he showed that ability to do so. I feel like this probably deserves to be a 5, but has the potential to be like a 3 because. What do you expect? Lower your expectations.
Yeah, it's just week 1. We're still building. So I go
now,
3.
those defensive ends that they selected, those 2 highly touted, at least to them, in the first round, you're worrying for sure because they made little to no impact.
And Tristan Wirfs isn't even out there.
Yeah. It's tough.
All right, man.
The Cowboys, who lost?
Did we say the Cowboys? Oh, we didn't say the Cowboys.
No, don't forget they lost.
Oh.
The Dallas Cowboys. No, we did.
Yeah, we
That's
did.
the second team
Exactly.
we did.
He just wants to do it again.
He's
You
just
fucking
dying
freak
to
ass
the
nigga.
Cowboys.
Freak. What the hell? You want to go ahead? Come on now.
You're trying to give the Saints jersey to the Cowboys. It's crazy. He wants it bad.
Yeah, dude. Relax, man.
Oh, okay. Next thing we're going to do. We are going to do a series where we put every single NFL team's logo into a tier list. So, based off of how nice we think this logo is, we put it S through F. Today, we are starting off with every team in the AFC, and next week we'll come back and we'll do every team in the NFC to complete the tier list.
Hell yeah.
Okay.
So, let's get into our aesthetic talk. Just how good it looks right now. Current logo. First off, Baltimore Ravens.
In the
A or
in-
B, maybe?
Honestly, I think this is one of the best logos in the conference.
The colors are incredible. That gives it a high floor.
Wait, pull it up. I can't see it real quick.
Man, you know what the Ravens logo looks like.
But
Sit back.
can it be S, though? Can it be S? Is there any argument for S?
I'm about to Google it.
Is it arguing for S?
Yeah. I don't know if it's one of the best in the league. I mean, like the best in the league.
Yeah, I don't think so either. I think it's right below. I think the colors do a lot for it. It's a cool looking bird, but it's not like exceptional. It's not. I think to be S, it has to be like an iconic sports logo.
Mm-hmm.
Like we have to think about it has to be like agreeable, one of the best logos.
Yeah, I think they have one of the best jerseys for sure.
That's
but
fair.
Their logo is not bad at all, but it's just not reaching the.
But it is a very menacing bird, though.
Yeah, I think we go A tier. It's right below the iconic ones. That
Yeah.
very, very good, but not one of the best.
Okay.
Broncos.
This probably takes it up a step.
You think Broncos deserves S tier?
I think it's S tier.
Is that one of the best logos in the sport?
I think so. I think
Mhm.
I think that horse is menacing. I think that the colors are good.
Yeah,
I really like
The horse has a very strong neck.
it does.
He's been out
Yeah.
here,
That's a horse thing.
muscle in his neck.
That
Yeah,
looks like a trusty steed to me, man.
Trusty Steve.
Yeah.
You know, I like how the hair on the horse kind of looks like it almost like invokes like
Flame.
fire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So okay, we can go. That's
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 def-
comfortably a top 5 to 6 logo in the sport.
Easily.
Yeah.
Okay.
Easily.
Houston Texans.
Put them down at C. It's a decent logo. It's not.
kinda
it's not
like it.
terrible.
I was thinking B. I think it's pretty cool. I like the way it adds the like Texas flag type of thing into it. I think it's clever. You don't see a lot of these like implement the city or the state they're from, and I feel like they do that in an interesting way.
Maybe they deserve to be B.
They really have to. I mean, it's in the entire franchise name is about the state.
Texans. Yeah. I think it's a B though. I think it's pretty cool. I like the horns, the little steer look.
Yeah.
We got the star in the eye. I like that.
Is that a bull?
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, it's a B.
Yeah.
You know what? Fair enough. I do think that like also it's a very irregular shape for a logo. Like everyone kind of has like something very small, maybe going that way. This is a
maybe
very,
going that way.
Yeah, it's a very unique logo shape.
It is unique.
You're right. It is like it's not forward. It's literally like forward facing, pretty much. So I see what you mean.
Okay. The Jacksonville Jaguars.
It's not terrible, but I also think that everything that they do is lower class.
It's low quality.
So
jerseys, trash.
Yeah.
Team, trash. Stadium, trash. Graphic design, trash.
I kind of like their jerseys.
So I might go D.
You're the only one in the world that likes the
I
jerseys.
actually like their color scheme. I like the logo too.
Again, no, the color scheme is nice. How they choose to deploy it is the
You know what's
issue.
tough? This logo has like no history, no aura to it whatsoever.
You're not a Blake Bortles guy?
Can't say I am.
You're not a Fred
Can't say
Taylor
I'm
guy?
a gradient helmet type of guy.
You're not a Fred Taylor type of guy?
Yeah. There's nothing going with it that like makes you think of iconicness to it. So that kind of hurts it.
Okay, put it in D, I guess.
I could listen
wrong.
to. I could listen to C.
But I think C it generally has like C type of contention. Look at that Jaguar,
See,
bro.
but like, okay, here's my problem.
It's finna
It's
pounce
like,
on you.
See, no, you see a Jaguar like roaring. That Jaguar is yawning. That one's
Yawning
tired.
has his
He
teeth
just
out.
watched Trevor Lawrence highlights.
The
Yeah.
fangs are out, man.
He's tired. He's boring.
He needs a couple Travis Hunter highlights and he'll be
He
set.
just had a weekend in Jacksonville.
I
Nothing
guess.
to do.
I don't want to pray for
Going to
that.
Cheddar's. Going to Margaritaville.
You got it.
Bengals.
D maybe as well. I don't know. Or maybe C.
If you're just the letter,
I'm thinking F. F or D. I think it's a pretty bad logo.
Looking at the rest or thinking about the rest is just very uninspiring. It's like nice.
that's what I'm saying.
B and tiger stripes.
They are a very cheap organization. They did not pay a lot of money to their graphic design.
No, not at all.
Mm.
So yeah, I'll go F with them.
I think it's just a B. It's not. There's no Bengal. It's bad. It's a D. I mean F. Okay. New England Patriots.
I don't like this. The logo's not
this,
bad.
This is big.
I like it.
It's a good logo.
I like the flag tailing off of the Patriot helmet. I mean, a Patriot hat. I think it's strong.
Are we going A or B? Is it more
Hell,
text?
A. Why would it be A?
I don't think A's. Why do you dislike it? It's a good logo.
It's not a good logo, man. It just
Again, you're bringing in the colors. I also like the fact that not only do you represent your little area with your 6-7 states or whatever,
Your 6-7 states.
you
Your little
have
community.
you represent the entire country. All right.
I'll go B.
Yeah, you can
so
listen. Everybody who's red, white, and blue, you go into B.
Oh, okay. Actually, is it better than the Texans though? It might be better than the Texans.
I think they belong in the same tier. But if you want to go away, cool. But I think you're gonna quickly realize like, oh shit, like maybe we need to drop it down to.
I like this logo. I don't know what you're talking about. You keep saying these
You
things.
really are hating.
I
It's
think it's
just
a good
silver
logo.
and navy blue. The red is cool, but it's like
I can say that with any of these.
What does that
logos.
mean? You just name the colors? Yeah, the colors do exist.
you can't name this.
The Broncos one. It's just navy blue and orange.
Mind you, he didn't even say red. He omitted
The
red.
red is there, yeah. It's a good pop, but it just doesn't feel inspiring to me. I don't look at this logo and I'm waking up and I'm excited to be a Patriots fan.
You don't see this?
Why
You
would I
don't
do
want to
that?
enlist in the Navy?
I'm good on that.
Okay.
You don't want a Hellcat?
I am.
I know
very
you
good on
do.
that.
I know you
I'm
do.
very
It's from
good on
Atlanta.
that.
The Kansas City Chiefs.
Ooh.
It's very hard to.
Like,
It's potentially A.
I mean, the Chiefs are like famous. It's not a great logo though. I don't feel like this is some beautiful logo.
Yeah, it's potentially A, but it's not one of the best.
I like they do a really good job because a lot of times if your name is the Chiefs, you could have went any way with them.
You could have caused some issues.
And I feel like their logo is very much like, hey, we're actually trying to just,
They're forward moving. You're
yeah,
right.
we're actually just trying to be respectful, right?
Yeah.
He said,
As much as possible.
we will let you come to the games and paint your face red, but we will not put it on the helmet.
Mhm.
Okay. We're progressive.
Yeah.
Sounds to me like a C. I think If we asked us pre-Mahomes, nobody would have said this is a great logo. But Mahomes rises all tides in all regards to the franchise. To me, it's still C.
If Mahomes isn't there, I'd be like, yeah, this is the fucking D, bro. How damning is this? Alex Smith? I
think it's a perfectly adequate logo with some good history to it, but it's not pretty. Do y'all agree?
Sure.
It can maybe jump up to B.
I think it could be B, but
none of these logos are ass though. They can all be B. The logos are fine and
you
large.
gotta be real harsh. That is true. Okay.
The Las Vegas Raiders.
Oh, this is S
A
tier.
or S, bro.
S tier. This is one of the best logos in the
most
sport.
menacing ones.
It just, you look at that, you just bad news.
Is that a pirate and some swords in the back? Well, yeah, I'm finna get fucked, bro.
Hey, yo.
Dude, come on. Now.
That's actually ridiculous.
That tone of
Dude,
voice is
come on.
ridiculous.
Dude, come on.
He was
know
like,
it's
oh, I'm ready.
That tone of voice was
you're
crazy.
doing a lot on it, man. You're already not.
You're
me.
doing a lot.
I am not doing none.
That was
man.
too much.
That was nuts.
Is
You're
it not
fiending.
menacing?
You're fiending
If
for
I
it.
see a 220 man running at me with
He-
big ass
he
shoulder
wants it to
pads,
be menacing.
I'm
Now it's a
cooked.
big man. He's looking. Oh, he's fiending for it.
Oh my gosh, man.
Great logo overall, though. Amazing color scheme. It's famous. It has like a history to it that like the history is bad news and up to no good. I like it.
Up to no good.
Yeah. That is does not play the game the right way type of logo.
And that's how I want my team.
yeah. Okay, the Cleveland Browns.
F.
F for
F.
sure.
All these orange teams, man, shitty logos.
Yeah, that's so much potential too.
We gotta investigate the color orange. What's up with
It's
this?
a damn shame.
Why does the orange team? Why does the color orange attract bullshit?
I think this is
I know. I mean, there's orange at the top.
inequality
Though.
right here that we're witnessing.
Okay, outliers. Does outlier to every rule?
True.
Oh, that is very true.
Miami Dolphins.
They
To
got
me,
some
it's a
orange
S.
to it.
To me, it's an S
S?
though.
Hell no.
Yes.
This clip art dolphin. This is not good.
Bro,
Put
this
it in
is
A. Put it in A.
clip art.
A. Mind you, Dolphins fans also hate this logo.
Cares what they don't
They
know
don't
what
know
they
anything.
like or don't like.
They don't know anything.
Very
If they knew
good.
better, they wouldn't root for the Dolphins.
I
Yeah,
know.
exactly.
This is
But
a
you
mediocre
do.
logo though. Like the colors are good, but the dolphin it's generic SeaWorld ass logos. It's not good.
But it has a dolphin.
It looks corporate. There is no life to this logo.
Corporate?
Yes.
No.
This looks terrible. It looks like a water brand.
This dolphin looks like it's finna show me some better days.
This is a
bro.
Purina. What's the name of that water brand? Not Dasani. What's the other one? I'm forgetting.
Aquafina?
This is an Aquafina logo.
And Aquafina is fine. What you mean? It's an
Aquafina.
S tier.
Aquafina's fine.
What are we talking about?
I would rather die than click S tier. This is
No,
crazy.
okay. I won't go S tier. I'll go A.
You might have to die.
A is crazy, but whatever. That mediocre logo. New York Jets.
New York. Ooh, this is ass kind of. I think.
It just says Jets.
Yeah.
Put it in F.
It just says
Is it
Jets.
F or D?
It just says Jets.
Is it as bad as the Bengals and?
Actually, nah. It is.
it has
a
a
step
jet
above.
on top of the.
There's a little bit
letters,
of
though.
personality here.
Yeah, it has a
Let's
jet
put
on
it
top
in
of the
D.
letter.
It's just words.
But yeah, there's
No,
a
but you
jet
see the
on top
little
of the
jet on
letters.
top.
Show me a jet. None of these logos are just words.
You
Do
don't
you
see a
not
jet
see the
physically?
thing on top of the T?
I know, I see it. That's a cool little addition.
That's what I'm saying. That's enough to put it in D.
This is like a secondary logo, though. None of the other logos just write their name. There's some kind of like mascot or emblem image there. This is just the Jets.
I think
Well,
it's as far as a gap between like the Bengals and the Cleveland Browns.
Yeah, the Bengals just put a letter. They actually wrote out the
They
words.
wrote the
Exactly.
word.
So-
Ah, okay.
On effort alone, we have to put it in D.
Yeah.
Fair enough. The Colts. Nice horseshoe.
Loki, this is as on brand as peak of a logo in terms of to represent your organization, your team, your mascot. S tier.
S?
And
Get the
that's-
fuck. What?
I'm going S tier.
S is.
Now I think you're dragging the like
No,
the
It's a horseshoe.
intimacy behind that. I don't think it belongs to
the
BS.
intimacy behind it.
Yeah, with the fans and shit. What do you mean? Like they're showing like a whole lot of.
talking
They're in Indianapolis, bro. They were like, they love their fans.
What is he talking about?
They love their fans, bro, and they love horses up there in Indianapolis. And I'm like, let's separate ourselves from that mindset and pay attention to the actual logo.
What's happening?
You talking about fan love? You talking about? We did not once mention a mascot here. What does the mascot have to do with anything?
No, but like
This is a logo.
exactly.
This is a B tier logo. It's fine. It's cool. It has history. It's not beautiful. Honestly, it's just as good as the Patriots
This guy's
logo
a
to me.
fan of their mascot. That's what that tells me.
He likes that white and blue
Exactly.
horse.
Exactly.
It's a nice horseshoe. It's cool.
It's a nice horseshoe.
I like
What the
it.
fuck about
I'm going S tier. I think
I think B. What do you think?
I could meet you at A. It's a genuine good logo, and I think it's better than the Patriots and the Texans.
I feel like it's so fine.
so fine.
It's just fine. Like it's just
Actually, it might belong in C now that I think about it.
Stop that.
yeah. Honestly, it looks pretty similar to the Chiefs logo.
Stop that.
Yeah.
In terms, in terms of just straight representation.
What do you mean by that? There's just a lot of horses roaming everywhere in Indianapolis?
Hell yeah.
Okay.
Don't drop it. Don't drop it.
Listen, we don't love it. You love it, so we'll meet in the middle, go B.
Okay.
That's fine. The Buffalo Bills.
C, maybe.
I think it's a good logo. I don't know what the red is, but I like it.
But I like it.
I just see a buffalo with like a marker. I don't know what it means, but it's
Yeah.
provocative. It gets me going.
Listen, if
Is it like
if it gets you going, we got to put it in what? A? B?
I think it's A or B.
Deciding.
Hey, keep in
A
mind,
or
it looks something we've really been doubting. One of the most important factors in this entire thing. We haven't brought it up once. How it looks on the helmet is the most important thing here. It looks exquisite on that white helmet, especially with the red face mask.
But also, I need to do a little bit more research because what's a bill?
So Buffalo Bill, we did this
Was
when we
it
did
a
the
guy?
old versus new. It was a guy.
It was a guy, right?
Yeah.
Shout out to Bill.
But it's.
I'm
going
going
to
A. I'm going
honestly
A.
put
Do
this
y'all
in
not
C
find
in
it?
my
Do y'all
mind.
not find it disingenuous that their logo is a buffalo, but like that's just where the city's from, but it's not an actual mascot? Like not like you guys,
Disingenuous. Do I feel like they're lying to me in a way?
This
that
guy
is-
has a romantic relationship with mascots is what I'm putting together. I knew it. You just got caught red-handed.
What do you mean? Like they just, but like they use the city's
Who
name
cares?
as like, and then it's the city
Why do you
name, and
care
then
so much?
I see what you're cooking. We need to
you
investigate.
you
We need to
understand?
investigate the trustworthiness of the Buffalo Bills as a franchise. Little to do with the logo.
He said they conned me.
Yeah, maybe
Or
they
the
called
Sea
you.
Bomber.
like no, but like your whole thing is like you're trying to put on like you some buffaloes. You're not.
Oh,
Like,
shit.
your entire team is a
You're some
representation.
Bills.
You're lying to me.
I lean A. What do you guys think?
It's a representation of a man.
Me personally, I'd put them in C.
I think it's a beautiful logo. I think it looks great on the helmet. It is iconic.
I'll go A.
Yeah, I think this is a great top tier logo.
I'm outvoted.
The Pittsburgh Steelers.
S tier.
S tier?
Listen, history may be on its side, but guess what? History's on its side, and so I guess it gets that plus for me. I'm going S tier.
S tier branding, S tier history. Just the logo. Take away the cool black jerseys. Take away the cool black and yellow. I don't think it's an S tier logo.
You can't take away the best thing about them.
Well, the best
Black
thing
and
about him
yellow.
isn't present in the goddamn logo.
I don't know. I don't know if it's S tier. I don't think it could be S tier.
I think go A. Reward the history to it. Reward how iconic it is, but it's not. The Raiders and the Broncos just looks a lot better.
Yeah, I agree.
Chargers.
S. I think they're S.
I'll take what I can get. I'll put an S tier.
You weren't gonna go S?
No, I mean, I don't know.
Ah, man.
Now, if there's one thing that we can give the Chargers,
Yeah.
they're S tier in basically all aesthetics.
Shout
of
out
the
the
game.
AFC West putting on for S tier.
Oh shit, you're right.
It really is.
Shout out the AFC West being
What's
cool.
going on? They're hogging all the talent, man.
I
It's a
know.
monopoly.
Tennessee Titans.
It's low key the same as the
C.
Chiefs.
Yeah.
Not the Chiefs, as the Steelers, right?
Fuck.
Why would the
no.
Titans be the same as this? What the
It's a
fuck?
flaming
What the
T
fuck?
with a circle. No.
Why is it?
I forgot what it looks like. I can't see it. I'm assuming based on what I know.
You can't see that?
No, I can't see it over there. That's what I said before.
Unc, come on now.
He doesn't remember what the logo looks like. It's on the screen now.
Thank you. Stop that.
I think low key. I think F should be needs a rebrand, and the Titans logo needs a rebrand. This is actually quite terrible. I think everything about them, jerseys, logo, everything needs to be refreshed. It's pretty terrible.
You know, I'll go with it.
Yeah, F is the get this out of my face now logo. Yep.
Nah, it's better than the Browns logo though.
Well, yeah, because the
don't
Browns is
know.
in the pits of hell, but that doesn't mean they need a rebrand.
All right, there we go. Top of F tier.
There you go. Make you feel better.
Yeah.
And this is every single AFC logo. Next week we'll finish it with every NFC logo. We'll finish out the tier list. I like it.
I fuck with it.
And with that being said, that is the end of this episode. That is the end of our week 1 reaction episode that went 3 hours, even though we told you to be an hour and a half. But that's week 1 for you. Lots to talk about, lots to break down. Hopefully we get this under 2 hours in the future, but we probably won't.
Yapathon. It continues.
Words will be said, yaps will be given, and we'll see y'all on Thursday for the next episode.